Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And coming up on today's show, if any Raiders or NFL news happens today, I will obviously tell all of y'all the Silver and Black did have OTA practice today. Unfortunately, not open to the media, have not heard anything around that. Though, big-time NFL news literally just happened, and the Houston Texans and Pro Bowl wide receiver Nico Collins have worked on a agreement on a contract that include $9 million in cash increase this year and $8 million in cash increase next season. So it looks like an adjusted contract for the Houston Texans. That literally just happened. But seriously, though, I got to mention this. Today's show is sponsored and presented by our good friends over at Prize Picks. I'll talk about Prize Picks. I'll show you guys a heartbreaking lineup that I had yesterday, and I'll also be able to break down a lineup that Lopez has today because there are some games that are in action. Also, one of the things that I'm going to be discussing on the program today is A.J. Brown. Essentially, I don't think that the Raiders are going to trade for A.J. Brown. However, there is going to be a lot of A.J. Brown trade rumors that are going to be happening because of June 1st. June 1st is a big day for A.J. That's going to be a day that the Eagles end up moving on from one of their star wide receivers. And just because I don't see the Raiders being that team doesn't mean that Raider fans shouldn't pay attention to the A.J. Brown rumors. There's obviously a lot of dominoes that end up falling, a lot of different conversations end up happening, and because the Raiders, whether we like it or not, are a team that seems to be linked to free agent, trade candidates, the wide receiver position, dominoes fall. So when the A.J. Brown trade does ultimately end up going down, I think you're really going to see what the Raiders think about this wide receiver unit because there's going to be reports that are going out left and right. Also, I saw an article out there around Raiders trade block candidates. I'll talk about that a little bit today. Again, the way that Tuesday's shows go are this. When news happens around the Raiders or the NFL, we break it on down. And then I got two other segments, one around A.J. Brown, why it's important for the Raiders, and then also a Raiders player on the trade block. We got 250 people here in the building right now, and if you want a shout out here on the Raiders Report, type me down below so I know who's rocking with us here in the middle of May. Sherlock, what's going on, Sherlock? Hope everyone had a great and safe weekend. Let's show up and show out today. Together we are stronger, Raiders. Dude, I had a great weekend. Truthfully, one of the coolest weekends that I've had in a long time. You guys know I'm a big old dog dad, and I got to watch my buddy Marsh. He's the host of our Nick show, his dog Hart this weekend. And to just be able to see Hart and my dog Chuck, who they are like, it's literally kind of crazy. There's Chuck's 75-pound lab. Hart's like probably a 45, 50-pound lab. They became best friends, true like stepbrothers, almost like type of commercial stuff. And I'm not going to lie, like I did nothing this weekend besides be the best dog dad that I could be. And I had so much fun doing it. Yesterday, Alex and I recuperated from the weekend from the dogs. I don't know if that's the right word, but no, dude, I had a great weekend. Hope everyone else also had a great weekend. Sherlock, 30 minutes. Let's freaking get it going, Sherlock. Again, I hope that people get their questions, their comments in. I did see Isaac Hernandez said, let's go. I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so only able to party during the week. Let's go, Mitch. You know, to all y'all out there, and, you know, especially to you, Isaac, I said this yesterday on my show. Shout out to LA Crash Dog and to everybody. Like, you know, we had a 3-day weekend for a reason, and I hope everyone, you know, took that time to really remember why we have that 3-day weekend, all the brave men, women, families that did pay the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you so much. But, you know, Isaac, I thought of you yesterday. LA Crash Dog, I thought of you. Taino Raider, I thought of you. 93 Nabman, I thought of you. Jeremy Cole, I thought of you. Like, I thought a lot of y'all guys yesterday because, again, it's there's a reason why we have the off day. And, you know, I was talking to my mom. I was talking to my dad. Everybody has the day off. And my mom's with her family. My dad's with his family. I'm with my family here in Dallas, and had a really, really good 3-day weekend. But Isaac, I know you're always down to get down, dude, but seriously, you were one person today that I know I didn't see on Friday. I wanted to be able to tell you, you and all the people out there that serve, thank you guys so much for, again, giving us that 3-day weekend. Sherlock Raider, I got you finishing off the alley-oop in there, which you guys are something, man. Sherlock and Isaac on a Tuesday. I don't know if y'all remember that show or that song. got the club going up on a Tuesday. Do you remember who sang that?
It was Drake. It was a Drake song.
Was it?
Yeah.
Got the club going up on a Tuesday. I don't think it was a Drake song.
I guarantee you it was a Drake song. It's called Tuesday.
And I don't think it was by Drake.
It's by Drake.
Are you sure?
I am very sure.
Dude, I don't know. I love McConan? What is that? I think that's who sang it. MAKONNEN.
Tuesday, song by Drake and I Love McConan. Just
Featuring Drake. Okay. Featuring Drake. I got you. When I was a kid, dude, in college, got the club going up on a Tuesday. Easy. Sherlock throwing it down. O'Neal Seward. What's going on, my man? We will get to that super chat here in just a moment. We'll kind of go into some of the other deals that we have going down on today's program. And before I get into that, though, shout out to today's sponsor, PrizePicks, America's #1 fantasy sports app out there. Raise your hand if you're watching Spurs Thunder tonight. If you're raising your hand, get a PrizePicks lineup in. If you're watching the Golden Knights tonight up against the Colorado Avalanche, hey, get a PrizePicks lineup in tonight. Just make sure that you use code HMA to get $50 instantly in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. I should also mention, since today is Tuesday, you're going to be able to get a Taco Tuesday, which PrizePicks every single Tuesday, they discount a player. I'll be real. I actually don't know what the Taco Tuesday is.
They actually have two.
They have two Taco Tuesdays.
For the NHL or the hockey game tonight and the basketball game tonight.
All right, so we got a basketball Taco Tuesday and we got a hockey Taco Tuesday. So my lineup that unfortunately did not happen yesterday, and it was close, but this is why I'll say I like PrizePicks because even in a game that sucked, like yesterday's game for the Knicks and Cavs, it was a sucky game.
Oh, I turned it off after the first quarter.
I mean, dude, it was 46-26, and I don't know if any of y'all are out there that have this happen to them. What it takes for me to convince my wife to watch a basketball game takes a lot of convincing, okay? And I'm like, oh, I really want to watch this game. I got a PrizePicks lineup in. She's like, all right. We turn on the game, and it's an instant blowout. We get to the 40. It's like 46-26 in that game, and Alex is like, we're not watching this anymore. And I'm like, yeah, all right. I'm not going to lie. It's a pretty bad game. Well, I started watching near the end of the game, and I was watching it because I needed one freaking point from James Harden. And when they took all their guys out and they gave up, I was heartbroken. But, like, that's also why I like PrizePicks, because I'm like, that game was never close. But that game was close to me throughout the entire freaking game. But it's because I had a lineup in. Again, not a lot of money. 5 to win, 18. But when you're kind of like me and you're going to watch the game anyway, hey, get a lineup in. Here's Lopez's lineup if anybody wants to roll with him. And, again, if you want to follow me, I'm at MitchellRens365. We're going to put some links for you guys down in the comments, down in the description. Why is this your lineup tonight?
Well, for starters, had to go with Chase Burns, the Reds' ace right now. They're going up against the Mets.
Yep.
So I had to take that demon pick over 7.5 strikeouts. I think get 8, maybe even 10.
Against
the
Mets.
It was a bad game yesterday for the Mets.
It's a bad game a lot of the times against the Mets.
Bad game for the Mets yesterday. And then hopping over the basketball game tonight. Alex Caruso, 13.5 points, rebound, assist. He had an off game in Game 4. They're back home in Oklahoma City. I think he's going to rebound. Shea, less than 29.5 points. He has not gone over 30 this series, and that line has stayed the same, or that projection has stayed the same. So I have always taken the less, and the last couple of games, it has hit. Stephon Castle, give me the Goblin, 13.5 points. I think he's going to have a big game tonight. And then Wemby, he's my taco, at 19.5 points. Give me the more.
19.5 for Victor Wembanyama. That's the Taco Tuesday. I mean, they had it down at 26 points, and now he's at 19.5. I might have to end up taking that taco. But, hey, y'all, shout out to PrizePicks. Again, use code HMA to get $50 in lineups. After you play your first $5 lineup, PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Let's go to Sherlock Raider. What's going on, Sherlock? Sherlock, I saw that you sent in a super. I don't know why it didn't count towards the goal. I'm not going to lie to you, but as far as I'm concerned, we are one step closer to our goal. O'Neal, what up, Mitch? Been a while since I've been on, but I'm always watching. The OTA news is awesome, and I can't wait until the cream rises to the top. This clearly our best team in decades. Well, what's decades here? I mean, if it's the last 2 decades, yeah, damn sure, I hope so. But then also in the same breath, like that 2016 Raiders team, it's really, really sad that Derek Carr ended up getting hurt that year. But also, we're talking about the last great Raiders team being 10 years ago. One of the things that I love that Clint Kubiak is doing is, again, he's making this team earn their shield. And he said it last week where I didn't know exactly if it was going to be like player on a player basis, like, oh, Ashton Jeanty earned his Raiders shield. Fernando Mendoza earned his Raiders shield. Max Crosby earned his Raiders shield. Kubiak kind of like gave us a little bit of light and said, well, no, this is like a team thing. Like, we are all earning our Raiders shield. And like that alone, and maybe again, it's the off season. I'm always going to be a hopeful Raiders fan, but I've seen a lot of regimes come and go. I've seen a lot of players come and go. And if there's one thing that I have felt very, very truthful about since I have been the host of the Raiders Report, it's I want players that want to be Raiders. And I want players and coaches that know that wearing that Raider shield, it is a absolute privilege in order to do so. But when you don't respect a franchise, then you don't put the best foot forward. And, Kubiak kind of said in that presser last week, like John Spytek and our regime, they did a great job bringing in players that, want to play football, that want to practice. And, you don't have to do the extra motivating because those guys are going to show up and show out every single day. When you have all the issues that the Raiders have had over the past few years and you bring in a new regime and you're telling players to buy into that regime again, you need something that players are going to, buy into, right? Like, you can sell, but if you're not going to have a product that's worth buying into, you're going to look like a shitty Raiders team, and that's what it's been the past few years because you weren't bringing in the proper people. Why I'm so excited for this offseason, O'Neal, and why I think a lot of Raider fans are excited as well is it's because the amount of things that are happened this year that I just feel like I'm like, man, we've been waiting for an offseason like this. I've been waiting for a head coach to do shit like this. I've been waiting for players to do shit like this. Like, it's a big old bag of emotions, and it's freaking at the end of May, and I already can't wait for football season, dude. Sherlock Raider, what's going on, my brother? For those that do not know, Sherlock Raider, he has booked his flight. He's going to be coming down here to the Chat Sports Studios, and he will be in studio for a Raiders Friday happy hour. It's going to be wet. It's going to be wild. It's going to be a hell of a time. Cooper, what's going on, Cooper? Cooper, I actually saw you emailed me, and I have not gotten back to you in that email. One of my favorite emails that I receive every single year is from Cooper Smith. He is I believe still in college. Am I correct? Hope you've been well. Wondering your thoughts on Crawford, Stukes, Kuntz so far as well as we stand. But every single year, Cooper emails me and he says, like, hey, congrats on Chat Sports getting bigger. And he's been doing it since high school, and he's interested in joining our Chat Sports team. But Cooper, I see you the emails that you always send. I have not gotten back to your email, unfortunately, but just give me time on it. I saw the photo, I saw the name, and I'm like, bro, I have to be able to tell him I see you, and I know that you sent me an email. In terms of Kieran Crawford, I don't have too much information on him, like, on the field. The only things I've really heard about him is, like, he's a really good kid. He's always smiling. He's always seems like he's in a good mood. I've heard that he's asking tons of questions. He's trying to be a sponge. He's trying to learn from a bunch of these other guys. Traden Stukes is the truth. I'm telling y'all right now, like, Traden Stukes, he is going to be a player that we go back and we look at as being like almost like the captain of this defense, the quarterback of the defense. And I'm not saying that because he's going to wear a green dot, but he's going to play nickel. He's going to play outside. He's going to play free safety. They are going to use him to scan the entire field, and he's going to be that versatile chess piece that I can't wait to see them get it going with. Haven't heard too much on Malcolm Kuntz. I'm not going to lie to all y'all. That's been another player. I actually talked about Kieran and Malcolm in the video that I dropped today, and it was essentially like, I want to hear more about those two guys. The defensive lineman that I've heard a lot about Max. I put out a video just on him a few minutes ago. But then also Kean Sloan, dude. I've been hearing a lot of really good things about Kean Sloan, that kid's motor. And if there's a UDFA that I would say right now, watch out for making the roster, Kean Sloan's going to be one of those dudes. Bob Bear, what up, Bob? Bob Bear, love y'all. Let's freaking go Raiders. Bob, love the shirt. In fact, is that a Raiders football?
Looks like it.
Yeah, sorry, Bob. I can't quite tell what's in your left hand, but I love the Mendoza shirt. I've been seeing some people asking me about the shirt that I'm wearing right now. This is not one of our Chat Sports shirts. This was sent to me by a buddy, so I told him I would wear it on the program today. But if you're looking for this shirt, I do not sell this shirt, just so you know. Shout out to LA Game Changers for hooking it up. They always hit me up with some awesome shirt ideas. Bob, shout out to you, bro. We got 313 people here in the building. Can we go to today's deals if possible? Just graduated last week. I know you're a busy guy. Thank you for the shout out. Love how well you support Raider Nation. Cooper. So you just graduated last week. All right, Cooper. I'll check it out then. That's on me. But you've been messaging me for I don't even know how many years, dude. I recognize the photo. I recognize the name. So I really appreciate the fact that you've wanted to work here for years. Truthfully, I see you. I see you. I promise you that I do. So if you guys want to get your questions, your comments up on the show, you're going to have to use hashtag Raiders or Super Chat in order to do so. If you want a chance to win a little bit of money, $20 Venmo to get in our duck race. The more people that get in, the more money we can give away. If you bang on today's program, again, that is the ultimate way to say, hey, Mitch, appreciate everything you guys do for this program. Thank you for showing up and showing out. Though, I do have a goal. So today I wore my Mendoza shirt. If we get 15 Super Chats that complete our goal, so from what it looks like, it's a $20 Super Chat or above. If we get 15 of those, I will go live tomorrow for a Madden watch party. So I do plan on going live on Thursday and on Friday. Friday and Thursday. Friday happy hour. Thursday is the day that we're going to do Raiders Chiefs, and then it's Raiders Patriots. Also, we'll probably get some OTA news and information either on that Thursday or on that Friday. And the reason why that I say that is because today was not open to the media. Typically, 3 out of the 10 Raiders OTA practices are open to the media. The last week, Wednesday practice was open to the media. So I think because today was closed, you're going to see one of the 2 days, either Thursday or Friday, be open. So we'll get some information out on that. But essentially, if you guys want me to be live tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, if we hit our goal, and that goal is, oh, God.
How do you track the goals here? I'm trying to figure that out.
So it's technically supposed to do it on its own, but I am starting to realize that I don't think it's working properly. Because, all right, you know what? It's not working properly.
Oh, yeah.
Because that one just came in,
That's
and
crazy.
it's not doing anything. All right, I'm going to remove the goal. Sorry. I'm going to remove it. I'm going to do it like this. If we get 3 bangs on the show, if we get 3 bangs today, I will go live tomorrow. Fair enough?
Let me change that L3.
If we get 3 bangs today, I'll go live tomorrow, I'll go live Thursday, and I'll go live on Friday. So that's on me. I tried to do something a little bit different, but unfortunately it looks like YouTube is saying that's not going to work today. Actually, also, I did see this from YouTube. YouTube sent us something that if you're somebody that does like to Super Chat, that the more you Super Chat, the less ads YouTube is going to show you. Yeah, I just got a notification. It was last week. They're going to roll something out. So it's essentially like if you Super Chat on the Raiders Report a lot, then you will be hit with less ads when you watch the Raiders Report. Now, if you watch like another Raiders show, then it has no influence. It's like as long as you're here watching the Raiders Report and you Super Chat, it will actually give you less ads moving forward, which I'm not going to lie, I thought it was kind of interesting. And anytime YouTube gives us new updates, I'm always going to try to share those new updates with you. Sherlock Raider, what's going on, man? Jedi, not a lot of news coming out today. Yeah, dude, there's not a lot of news coming out today. Though, Jordan Schultz just reported the Cardinals have received trade calls on Pro Bowl defensive end Josh Sweat. I want to say it was a Friday at Chat Sports. We got a notification, and one of the guys here at Chat Sports was saying, hey, I think Josh Sweat ends up getting traded. Are there any teams that you think could be interested in trading for him? I didn't put the Raiders in terms of a team that I thought could do it, and I don't think the Raiders would be a team, but that's being reported right now. Josh Sweat, teams are calling, but that's also why I wanted to talk about the A.J. Brown stuff today. There's going to be a lot of players that are going to be featured in certain trade rumors leading up into that post-June 1st trade deadline because of the way that certain contracts are structured. And I would bet, I don't know Josh Sweat's contract off top of my dome, but I bet you he's a player that it changes very much so after June 1st. Sherlock Raider, I don't know what you're saying. Congrats to Pop Toes for Pop Toes. What are you saying?
He's graduating high school.
Pop Toes graduating high school.
Yeah, today. If I understand it right, I'm tracking this in the
Pop
in
Toes,
the
today
chat.
you're graduating high school? Oh man, that's
Yep, today.
That's unbelievable. I remember when I graduated high school, like having the whole family there was awesome. My cousin Anthony, him and I, we were sitting right next to each other. It's a really, really cool experience, and you should absolutely be proud of yourself. Now, I'll be real with you. You couldn't pay me to go back to high school. I
think I could do high school again.
I wouldn't. I truthfully, the only way I would want to do high school again is if you pay me double what I make now. Like, I'm not just going to high school to go to high school. I would want double what I make now to go back to high school.
Like, I would need to make some sort of money, like, to, live. Like, I probably wouldn't want to go live with my parents again.
Well, no, I don't want to live with my parents again. I'm saying, like, in order for me to go back to high school as a 33-year-old man, Billy Madison style,
oh, no.
You'd have to pay me double.
Okay, I thought I was, like,
or
back
I mean,
to
even
16 or whatever. 15.
See, I wouldn't want to go back to – I wouldn't even want to go back.
What if you had the same knowledge, though?
What do you mean?
Like, you're put back at 16-year-old Mitch, but you have the knowledge of
But I'm not going to use any of my knowledge for high school things. I'm going to be like, I'm going to start a YouTube channel at 16.
But then you know how to do it, and then maybe by the time you're 30-something-year-old Mitch, you have like 10 million subs.
I guess, but that's like not going back to high school though. Like that's going back in
to
time.
High school, but you only go to high school from what 8 to 5, 8 to 3.
Yeah, but I just was such a bad student. I just hated high school so much. Like I really do. And if you're a high school student out there, I don't mean to say that. I hope that I'm the living, breathing proof of. My dad used to always tell me, because I used to work on like roofs. I used to do a lot of lawn care, and he used to be like, hey, you make sure you get yourself a good college education so you never have to do this type of stuff. I feel like I got lucky in life where I'm at now because I truly don't know what I'd be doing if I wasn't talking about the Raiders. And I wouldn't want to risk it. I would not want to go back to high school, man, because people in my hometown, you're either staying at Geisinger Medical Hospital or you're working at a pharmaceutical company, and neither of those I think I qualify for.
Yeah.
If I walk in the room and I'm the nurse, you're like, all right, if I'm a nurse and I'm on your screen, you're on a bad website. You know what I mean? Like you're on a website that you shouldn't be on and is probably blocked in a lot of different states out there.
I only visit those websites for the storylines.
Well, one of the craziest storylines in those is the website that they're from. A lot of banging going on. Of banging.
Lots of it.
Browsers, bangers. Bayou! Bang! What up, Bayou? In the building. The man that has banged more than any man. In the year of 2026, Mitch, my brother, Lopez, my brother, was banging a little on Cavs yesterday on behalf of LA Crash Dog and Save a Warrior. That guy is super appreciative on that channel. Nation, love y'all. Hope all is well. And if not, just be 1% better today versus yesterday. Congrats to Cooper. Congrats to Cooper, man, for graduating college. Congrats to Pop Toes for graduating high school. Bayou, you and I, we had a conversation this morning, dude. I'm glad that you got the gift that we ended up sending you. But again, like you said it to me this morning, I don't need to do everything that I do. You don't need to do everything that you do. But I think at the end of the day, there's like that mutual respect. I think Raider Nation, I will say this, Bayou, the amount of people that I have talked to about you over the last like 2-3 weeks, Raider fans are talking to me about you. There's a lot of people that are starting to know the Bayou Raider name. You're probably the number one name that gets talked about right now here at the Chat Sports Studios. And you're right. I know our Cavs guy is probably very appreciative of everything you do over there, just like I'm very appreciative of it over here as well. But I've been on the side of that Cavs streamish, right? Like the Cavs stream when you're down 3-0 and you're getting your butt kicked by 30 points. Yeah, you're just a diehard fan there at the point, and you're just trying to go through the motions. I've been in those games for Raider fans. We've all been in those games where your team's down 30 points going into the fourth quarter. You're walking into certain games, and you're like, Jesus Christ, I got to watch the Pete Carroll Raiders again this week. Like, we've been in those situations, I think, as fans. So for you doing what you did yesterday on our Cavs show and for you doing what you've been doing, it does help us out a lot here at Chat Sports because obviously I want to be in a good mood. But I think all of us Raider fans know sometimes how difficult it is to be in a good mood when your team's losing, your team's down bad. Now, the Cavs still made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, right? That's still a great job. It's still a tip of the cap, but when you're getting your butt kicked, nobody likes it. And
it sucks.
Unfortunately, Raider fans know what it's like to get your butt kicked, at least the new age Raider fans. Shout out to a man, a myth, and a legend all wrapped up in one, Bayou Raider. Let's go to O'Neal Seward. What up, O'Neal? Mitch, the excitement that Knicks fans have right now is the excitement that I can't wait for only nation to feel again. You know, I think Knicks fans and Raiders fans are very similar. I mean, this is the first time the Knicks have been to the been to the NBA Finals in 27 years. They've been. I think the Knicks have done a lot of losing. They have an extremely diehard fan base, and when you finally are able to get there, you know, you kind of feel like that monkey's off your back a little bit. I will admit this though. I didn't think that the Knicks had any shot to win the title. I do think that because they went 4-0, they're going to be well rested, and because the Spurs are a little bit banged up, and because the Thunder, I think, are probably more banged up, and this series is going to go 7 games, I still believe the winner of the Western Conference Finals ends up winning the NBA title. But I am not as convinced that, like, if it would have been, I think if you would have asked me a week or 2 weeks ago, I would have said Thunder or Spurs in like 5, maybe 6.
Yeah. This is the best pathway for the Knicks.
Correct.
You took care of the Cavs really quick. The Thunder, Spurs, they're at least going 6, probably 7 at this point.
Yeah.
You can't ask for much more.
No, dude, I agree with you. Like, I think the Knicks are playing outstanding basketball. You got to give Mike Brown a lot of credit. And he's been playing. I mean, his team's ready to go, and they're ready to go. And even when they kind of battle some of those lumps, they're able to bounce back. They're able to put a good run together. They're playing outstanding basketball. Raiders Surge, what up, man? What up? What's up the Renzinator? I haven't heard that one. If McCoy is fully healthy, ready to go week 1, how big of an impact will he have in the secondary room? Raiders Surge, I actually want you to go watch the video that I literally just dropped on the Raiders Report, and it's titled Triple Dose of Good News. And there's a lot of really good information, a lot of good news in there on Jeremiah McCoy and just his overall health. Because to me, if it's being reported that it's being reported right now that if you didn't know that he had a bad knee, you wouldn't know that he had a bad knee. And the reason why he was not a top 10 pick in the NFL draft is because of that knee injury. But for Jesse Merrick, you know, he's reporting that he's a freak of nature athlete. The athletic ability is fully on display. It's been reported by multiple sources out there that Jeremiah McCoy has looked really solid during OTAs. And again, like the way that I do a lot of shows this time of the year is I am told certain things. And what's really difficult, I think, about OTAs, what's really difficult about the offseason is everybody has their own sources. Like I bet you Jesse talks to certain people. I bet you Hondo talks to certain people. I bet you all these beat reporters, they probably talk to certain people, just like me. I talk to certain people as well, but I'm not actually at practice. So when I hear something and then it ends up aligning with what's also being reported by somebody else, I'll end up talking about it a little bit more in detail. And last week, I spoke about a lot, how much good positivity, you know, you're hearing about Jeremiah McCoy, but there's also, you know, like this is also the offseason where I could admit, like maybe talk is cheap a little bit because it's everybody's in the best shape of their life. It's hype season, hype season, hype season. But the fact that the Raiders are using Jeremiah McCoy and they're using him like also on punt return, I'm not saying that they're putting him out there right away, but because of the injury, for this team to already be having Jeremiah McCoy practice, and yes, he's on a pitch count, but the way that they're using him and how confident that they are in their medical team, it just reeks of, I think that there's a good shot Jeremiah McCoy's the week 1 Raiders starter. And I say that because if he's healthy, he's like your best corner on your team. Like, and again, like I don't say that lightly because, you know, Eric Stokes was the number 1 player I wanted the Raiders to re-sign last year, and I think a lot of us are like, you know, hey, if Jeremiah McCoy can be better than Eric Stokes in year 1, you're going, holy shit, this is a much, much better cornerback room than I ever thought. But it sounds like right now that the Raiders are extremely confident, and I mean extremely confident in him. Pete Thamel, the NCAA has denied Texas Tech quarterback Brandon Sorsby's request for reinstatement for eligibility for the 2026 season. Sorsby has completed his 35-day inpatient rehab for his gambling addiction in Goodyear, Arizona.
So he's cured.
I don't know if that's how. I don't know if I should say yes or no to that statement there. I do not know. But Jermod McCoy, it sounds like a lot of good stuff is coming out on him. Caleb Tarr, I'm on a gig at the Stockyards in Fort Worth Saturday. If any Raider fans want to bring your girls and two-step, ready for Houston versus Las Vegas, Uncle Mitch. What's the venue, Caleb? I mean, there's a lot of places in the Stockyard in Fort Worth where you can two-step. I'll tell you this right now, nobody wants to see me two-step. Absolutely
you're so
nobody.
Good you would show everyone up, or are you that bad?
I'm very bad at two-stepping. I will say this, unfortunately, I have plans this weekend. One of my buddies has got, how do I put it? One of my buddies has got something big happening this weekend. So I unfortunately cannot go to anything this weekend. What? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay. I'm like, I don't know how to say it.
I don't know how you want to say it. Go crazy.
Yeah, I can't tell y'all what's happening, but all I know is this. There's big news happening this weekend for one of our friends here at Chat Sports. I'm going to leave it like that. But if anybody out there wants to go two-stepping, hey, man, Fort Worth, Caleb Tarr, let us know where it's going to be happening. And I am also ready for Houston up against the Raiders. That's going to be a big-time shit-talking week. The fact that the Raiders have joint practice with them and that preseason game is the 20th of August. So that's a Thursday. I mean, that's primetime football for, like, to me, having a preseason game on a Thursday is unbelievable. I love it because then, you have the game, you come back the next day, it's Friday, you talk about the game, get a little Friday happy hour, get your weekend started. Caleb, shout out to you. What up, Sean? I just want to give a shout out to all the unseen faces of Chat Sports that make the Raiders Report possible. We only get to see the finished product, and I know there's so much time that goes into every video and every live. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually hoping that there's a time where we get, some more help and I can actually get you guys more and more content. There's still a lot of things behind the scenes that I work on. There's a lot of things behind the scenes that Lopez works on. There's a lot of things that are constantly in, evolution. And I hope the bigger and bigger that we get this show, the bigger and bigger we can get it going. Somebody just said, are we going to get an LSU channel from Bayou? Bayou, I'm telling you this right now, man. If there's one guy that's going to grab my boss's attention outside of Raiders, Ron, and Zon, it's probably you. So if you want an LSU channel, I'll keep saying it. You keep letting us know. But, Sean, truthfully, though, also, shout out to you guys. Shout out to all the people that maybe can't super chat on this program because I know, right now there's 313 people watching. But truthfully, in the months of May, June, and July, when, yes, it is my job to talk about the Raiders, but you guys know as well as I do, there's not a lot of things to talk about at this time of the year. So, I know how important football is in August, September, October, November, December, and hopefully the Raiders are good this year, and, we're still all hyped for the season. But, in May and June, I count on you guys more than I do even in the regular season because most fans are going to be around during actual football season. This time of the year, this is where the real ones are at. And this is where I'm like, you know what? Thank you guys for participating in the show because I know you guys are here for, whatever Raiders news you can get. I think you're also just here because of the community that we've been able to build over the past few years. But, Sean, shout out to you, dude. Hefty, what's up? Hello, Nation. I'm finally back at work. Graduated Cal State Northridge with a
bachelor's, I believe.
Bachelor's Science in Kinesiology. I was either that or it's a BS degree in kinesiology. I'm not really sure. I'm hoping it's a Bachelor of Science. I did get a BS in my school. It's total bullshit. Busy last week, but I'm catching up on shows, and hopefully we get a show tomorrow. Let's go, Nation. I will say it like this. We are 2 bangs away from me going live tomorrow on the Raiders Report. And if I go live tomorrow, I will have to figure out who my producer is going to be. And I'd have to make a few things move around a little bit. But If I went live tomorrow, it would be Raiders versus Chiefs,
I
Week
will
4
say
Madden simulation.
That game is good. I ran it this morning.
It's a good game.
Yes. And for all the people that are like, oh, Lopez lied last time, this is a good game. Trust me.
Okay. And then it would be Week 5 would be this Thursday. Week 6 then would be this Friday. If we don't get the 2 bangs, believe me, I'm just going to give you guys deals, and I hope that you understand it's me giving you the deal because if it happens, I can go live. And it's the easy argument that I can go to my bosses and say, hey, this happened. I want to be able to go live tomorrow. But if not, no sweat. It's all good. I will be live on Thursday. I will be live on Friday for all the Raiders stuff because the Raiders are actually practicing Thursday and Friday. So we will be able to talk about actual OTA stuff. And then on top of that, also do a Madden stream. If you want a Madden stream tomorrow plus 2 more Madden streams, then we're 2 bangs away from that. But Hefty, graduated from Cal State Northridge. Congratulations to you. I will say this, in a time of year where I don't do the direct hiring here at Chat Sports, am I a part of the hiring committee? Yes, I'm very appreciative of it. We look for guys that have, awesome work experience. I want to see how involved you're getting. Not that, the bachelor degree, not that stuff's not important. It obviously is, but, the more and more that you're getting involved, because I think at the end of the day now, I want to make sure, when I bring guys in here at Chat Sports, they're hard workers, they know what they're doing. And I think any company out there is I want guys that are working hard. I want guys that have shown me also that, hey, in really tough situations, I'm Fernando Mendoza. I'll show up when it counts. Raider Muerte sending in the good vibes. What up, Muerte? What up, my brother? Grandpa Dro found out we are going to have a second baby boy due in September, have a newborn and a 3-year-old soon. Super blessed. Raider Nation for life. Well, Grandpa Dro, second baby boy due in September, going to have a newborn and a 3-year-old soon. I mean, sounds like you're going to be busy, Grandpa Dro. But congratulations to you, man. And I'm always super humbled when we get messages like this. It blows my mind that people want to share, what's going on in their life. And I'm super blessed that people truly, want to be able to tell me, want to be able to tell Raider Nation about this. But, I said it on my Friday show, if there's anybody out there, if you ever get the chance to meet me, and if you ever want to introduce me as Uncle Mitch to any of the kids out there, I mean it. I would be unbelievably humbled to have that happen. I personally don't have any kids yet, but and my buddies, a lot of my friends from college, they all have kids at this point. And I'm Uncle Mitch. I hope that I can be the best uncle out there. I know I'm a good dog dad, but Grandpa Dro, thank you for sharing that with us, man. Congratulations to you and your family. That's beautiful. Rebel, Knicks win. Pizza with March. That's his deal. Dude, he's not going to eat that.
What is that?
I believe that's tongue.
Oh.
Am I tripping? I thought so, yeah. Bro, there's no chance he's eating that.
Is it cow tongue or
I don't know what kind of tongue. I just know it's tongue.
Because I've heard cow tongue tastes very similar to beef.
That's
It
fine.
might be you trick them, be like, hey, we got this beef pizza.
See, here's the problem, though. Even if it tastes exactly like it, that's a tough one for me. Again, I am very much...
One of those. Don't tell me what it is until I already ate it.
Probably, but my problem would be even if I took a bite and I'm like, wow, that's good. If you're like, by the way, that's tongue, that would be a tough hurdle. That's a me problem. I am a very much, once it's in my head, it becomes more and more difficult. More and more difficult. L.A., what's going on, L.A.? Jesse also said no one has been able to outrun McCoy in coverage. I mean, again, I messaged Jesse today, and I said, hey, man, great job, covering the Raiders. I talked about some of your reports today, on my Raiders Report show, and Jesse's been a really, really good source for Raider fans out there. And again, for me, a lot of my frustration from a lot of the beat reporters has always been, well, beat reporters used to hate on me because I was a YouTuber and hate on a lot of us content creators because, we're just YouTubers. But now you see a lot of these guys, they're making their YouTube channels, and I'm happy that there's, I know why they're making YouTube channels because that's kind of the way that the industry is growing. But I also have wanted beat reporters that I feel do a good job covering the team. And unfortunately, That really hasn't been the case over the past few years. But Jesse is slowly turning into a very, very reliable source here for a lot of Raider fans out there. But, for Jeremiah McCoy, I mean, that's somebody that ran a 4.37 40-yard dash at his pro day at Tennessee this year. Like, this guy can move. He can run. And the fact that it's being reported that if you didn't know about his knee injuries, you wouldn't even know that he had a knee injury. That's, again, like, I'm going to be the hopeful fan in the offseason, but everything that you're hearing and reading about Jeremiah McCoy is the Raiders really got a good one. And you still don't know, and I get that bone plug is going to be an issue at some point, but based on everything that's being reported right now, it's not an issue. And until it's an issue, then it's not going to be an issue. And for those of you that don't know, if you don't know, go to saveawarrior.org for veterans and first responders struggling. Make sure you tell them that Father Tom sent you. Sherlock, well said. Thank you, Sherlock. I don't know what you're referring to, but, to me, I think all of us here, we're here for Raiders content. We're here to have a good time, whatever you got going on in your life, even if it helps you, forget about what's going on for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, hell, 2 hours, 3 hours. I know this. Friday, I was supposed to give LA Crash Dog a call. LA Crash Dog, or not LA Crash Dog, I'm sorry, LCA, Lord Cameron Abbott, he was our MVP on Friday's show. I was so banged up from those hurricanes and the beer. I literally, did not, I went home, was not well. I had to pick up Hart. We picked up Hart, and after that, man, I was dog dad, but I was straight up kind of like Weekend at Bernie's. It was an interesting process. Mitch, I'm in the process of cleaning out my garage for a Raiders Report meetup this summer.
Garage Raiders Report meetup. There you go.
Dude, we got to do that's like Garage Band. Like that's. If I'm telling you right now, Pop Toes, you just told me. What's interesting is Pop Toes also just said he graduated high school. So that means I'm getting invited to a high school garage party.
See, Pop Toes has been confusing me because he's like,
I'm with you. No, I have no idea what to expect.
He's like, I'm graduating high school. Then he had a message earlier that was like, right after I graduate, go and play the slots at the casino. And now he's throwing Raiders Report meetups in his garage. So Pop Toes is just living a life.
Yeah, Pop Toes is doing some things, man. He's doing some things, man, and some stuff. Shout out to Pop Toes. Shout out to Zalesbo for being here in the building. Jedi, so Washington is faster than McCoy. I don't know about that. I'm not saying, if McCoy and Mike Washington were to race, Mike Washington ran a 4.3. 4.33. McCoy ran a 4.37. So, there's going to be days where, I bet you Jeremiah McCoy beats Mike Washington Jr. in a race. But from what I've understood in terms of, speed-wise for McCoy, it has to do with all the other players on the Raiders secondary at that cornerback position. From what I have gathered, McCoy is faster than Eric Stokes. He's faster than Darian Porter, which I think is pretty interesting. DeCamerion Richardson is actually the one that I'm the most shocked by because Richardson is a phenomenal athlete, long strider. But what I've heard, Jeremiah McCoy is showing that he is the speediest cornerback for the Las Vegas Raiders. So, again, you hear Merrick report it. And again, what's always interesting about the OTAs is the timing of the report. So a lot of this McCoy stuff that I talked about was also last week. And then I see some of the reports that Merrick came out with also last week. Kind of looks like the same, looks right around the same time frame. Not saying he's first, not saying I'm first, but again, when you see the equal things being said and reported, that tells me that there's a lot of truth behind it. So, because again, I've done these off seasons every year, and I hate to roll my eyes, but I think a lot of Raider fans probably roll their eyes as well because we've heard it every year. When you bring in a new regime, it's a lot of positivity. So when I'm being fed a lot of positive stuff, I'm like, okay, this is good, and I'm hopeful about it. But then when it's also being confirmed by other people that are there at practice, that again, that's just that extra level of okay, that's what I was hoping to hear. All right, y'all, we do have a segment coming up here, and it's going to be around A.J. Brown in just a moment. There's a lot of trade rumors that are happening, and I do think that trade rumors are really important this time of the year because of June 1st. If you don't know, June 1st is an extremely important date in the National Football League, And I always say where there's smoke, there's fire. There is some smoke right now around A.J. Brown with the Raiders, but I don't really think that smoke is worth looking at in terms of A.J. Brown to the silver and black. What Raider fans should really look at is, why do the A.J. Brown trade rumors impact the Raiders? Why are those rumors important for Raider fans out there? It's because of the aftermath of the potential dominoes that could fall, which we will talk about all that here on the program today. If you don't know what the deals are, if you want to get your Super Chat up on screen, hashtag Raiders or Super Chat in order to do so. If you want to get in our duck race, it's a $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. If you bang, shout out to you. It's always the number one way that I'll know that you guys are showing up and showing out. And if we get 2 more bangs on the Raiders Report today, I will go live tomorrow for a Week 4 Madden game up against the Kansas City Chiefs, which means you will have me live every single day this week here on the Raiders Report. If that's something that you want, hey, show up, show out. So coming up here, we're going to talk here about A.J. Brown. And before I get in to this A.J. Brown segment, can I ask you real quick, would you want the Raiders to trade for A.J. Brown? And I know this is a question that when I ask questions like this, it's literally why I first started to do the show, The Raiders Report, because oftentimes people will always talk about the top trending topics, right? A.J. Brown, Eagle star wide receiver, big name guys, one of the best wide receivers in the National Football League. But at the exact same time, I think there's a lot of different levels to this conversation. It's not just Madden where you go, okay, I get A.J. Brown, I get him on the team. Awesome, awesome, awesome. But then there's also the real life part of that of, does it make sense to trade for A.J. Brown now? Because if you're telling me in a nutshell, does he make us better? Yes, A.J. Brown makes you better every single day of the week. But does A.J. Brown actually make you better for when you have that shot to win the Super Bowl? If you think that the Raiders are a Super Bowl winning team right now, I think that you're typing trade. If you're like, you know what, he's an outstanding player, but I don't know if it fits our window right now, you might be putting pass. And what's interesting is I see Mario says yes. I see Jim Bloss say no. Hell no from Nocturnal Raider. Yes, it's very, very split bag right now. Way too much of a diva from John Fallon. I'll tell you guys whether or not I would trade or pass for A.J. Brown. And I'm also going to tell you why it's important for Raider fans to honestly keep up to date with these rumors. Like, it is. And I know that A.J. is not a Las Vegas Raider. But A.J. Brown, when you see the show that I'm about to do, you're going to go, okay, that makes sense. You're going to go, okay, that's why me as a Raiders fan, I should pay attention to all the A.J. Brown news. I should pay attention to all the A.J. Brown rumors because 100% they will impact Las Vegas. Without a doubt, they will impact Las Vegas. Garth Raider, I see your super. We will get to that one after this segment here. We will get to it after this segment here. So, we got A.J. Brown. I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know around this, and then why it's important for the silver and black. Why it's important for the silver and black. Well. You want to, if it's not loaded, we can get to it after, AJ, or you want to get to it?
If you give it a minute or two, it'll load in a second.
All right, sounds good.
I will say, Bayou said about 10 minutes ago, he's like, we're going live tomorrow, figure it out. So, I don't know if that was a threat or a promise, but we're getting really close.
That sounds like a little bit of a mix of both. That's actually hilarious. Like, just so everyone knows.
We're going live tomorrow.
We're going to be live tomorrow. All right, fair enough.
He said, figure it out.
Fair enough, man. Though Mark Call did just say born on the Bayou. Mark, is that true? You were actually born on the Bayou, or are you just saying that because of Bayou Raider? Genuinely, I'm curious now. I'm genuinely really, really curious now. I did say we are 2 bangs away from going live tomorrow. Well, we are now officially 1 bang away from going live tomorrow. Mark! Call! Bang! Back! Get out, ball. That's what I hope happens for the Mets tonight against your Prize Picks lineup. You're like, that's fine. You're like, that's fine as long as he gets 7.5 strikeouts.
I'd like to see him win too, but, you know.
As long as he gets his 7.5 strikeouts. Oh, man.
Okay, well, that was fast. Okay.
Here's one. Can we get another from Mark Call? Mark, I'm going to guess the answer is yes. And the only reason why I'm guessing the answer is yes is because the answer is already yes.
I like your odds here.
I'm just going to say this right now. There's a good shot we're going to get it. There's a really, really, really good shot that we're going to get it. Shout out to Mark Call, dude. And shout out to Bayou. Again, man, I've seen a lot of crazy shit in my years doing this show. The run that Bayou is on, I can say the craziest runs I've ever seen in Raiders Report history. I mean, Zahn and Ron early on. Trivan had some legendary runs. Wild One was doing some absolutely insane shit. I mean, Yoda, Ventrac, there's a reason why all these guys are Mount Raider more. Avgin had like a stretch where he was doing some unbelievable stuff. You guys are insane, man. You're absolutely insane. And yes, we will go live tomorrow. Raiders, Chiefs, Week 4, Madden simulation. Bayou! Bang! Oh, man.
That was easy.
Oh, man. Bayou. Who you got? Bayou, are you rooting for the Vegas Golden Knights? I'm just curious, because I know that I said I'm going to try to go live if the Vegas Golden Knights end up making the Stanley Cup. And if you guys want to let me know who you got tonight, that's fine. We'll go to it. I also think we should probably do a prize picks here in a little bit.
Yeah.
Type LV for the Golden Knights. Type COL for the Avalanche. This might be a lame thing to say, but it's the God-honest truth for me. I feel like there's a lot of Broncos fans that are Avalanche fans because of, like, the area.
Yeah.
So it makes me want the Knights to win this series even more, and it makes me want for them to get a sweep. On Prize Picks, I took the Knights to win in 6 games on Prize Picks. Now, obviously, I would need the Avalanche to win 2 games in order for that to happen. But also, though, like, I would want to know, like, if you guys would be interested in me going live for the Stanley Cup. Obviously, the Knights, they still have to win 1 more game in order to do it. I should let it be known that I have plans on June 5th, June 6th, and June 7th. My wife and I, we celebrate our 1-year wedding anniversary on June 6th, and she has already made it extremely clear to me that I have to set aside the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th, which I think there might be a Stanley Cup game in one of those days. Probably at least one. Probably at least one. Living life by the drop, Mark Call. I got you, my brother. Yeah, but I'm a Devils fan first, and they have been on a tough run. I did not know you were a Devils fan, Bayou. One of my professors, he was very, very high up with the New Jersey Devils, and he's got multiple photos with some of their Stanley Cup victories that they had many, many years ago. I'll try to see if he's got any good information, or like he goes to free games all the time for the Devils. So I'll try to get that hookup for you. But his name is David Perricone. If you want to look him up, he was probably one of my favorite professors in college, man. Well, if anybody out there is planning on watching the Knights and the Avalanche game, you can get a lineup in on Prize Picks. And I actually think you were saying it earlier that one of the Taco Tuesdays, yes, Carter Hart for the Las Vegas Golden Knights is got goalie saves. So the normal number is 29.5 goalie saves. The Taco Tuesday is 23.5 goalie saves, which, if you're wondering, all right, what does that mean? Last game against the Avalanche, 31 saves. Game before that, 29 saves. 36, 31, 34. So that's 5 straight games. 5 straight games. In the middle of a Prize Picks reads crazy. 5 straight games with more than 23.5 goalie saves. So in all honesty, I really, really like that Taco Tuesday. And also, Victor Wembanyama, Taco Tuesday, 19.5 points. If you plan on watching the hockey game tonight, if you plan on watching the basketball game tonight, go get a lineup in. Make sure that you use code HMA to to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup Prize Picks. It's good to be right. So, what we're going to be doing here on the Raiders Report is I got two segments for the nation, and we're going to talk about A.J. Brown, and then we're going to get in here and we're going to talk a little bit more about Jordan Meredith being a potential trade candidate. I saw an article, I saw a report, and I wanted to be able to just give my 2 cents on it. Just wanted to be able to give my 2 cents on it. So, you ready to rock?
Yeah.
Are y'all ready to rock and roll here? First segment coming up after that. I will say this. I don't know if we have anybody in the duck race. $20 Venmo, Mitchell Renz 365. All right, we do have a few people getting in. Let me just get these names in, and then we'll get this segment rolling here on the program. So I got Jason Goots, you in. Richard Engel, you in. And then Justine Gonzalez, you in. 20 to win, $30. But hey, the more people that get in, the more money we can give away here on the Raiders Report. Ready? Y'all ready for this? Let's talk about A.J. Brown right now here on the Raiders Report. Coming up today here on the Raiders Report, presented by Prize Picks, A.J. Brown was linked to the silver and black. I'm going to tell all the fans out there why it doesn't make any sense for the Raiders to trade for the Philadelphia Eagles star wide receiver. But I will say this, it is important for Raider Nation to follow the A.J. Brown trade talk, because where there's smoke, there's fire. But more importantly, when a big-name guy like A.J. Brown ends up getting dealt, or when there's tons of trade rumors around a certain position like the wide receiver position, you as a fan should pay attention because of the dominoes that will fall after in the NFL and for the silver and black. So if you did not see this article, it's from Bleacher Report. And when I first started doing this show, this is really how I would do it. I would be like, all right, it's the off season. If you're talking about something, I'm going to be able to weigh in on it. And probably one of the number one things that I was asked about over the weekend was like, hey, Mitch, did you see this article from Bleacher Report titled 5 Teams That Should Trade for A.J. Brown that aren't the Patriots? The Raiders were, of course, one of the teams that was on that list. And I feel like the way that the Raiders have been linked to all these receivers are, well, the Raiders clearly need a wide receiver. And that means that they're going to be interested in every big-name guy. Because I do know this, A.J. Brown will 100% be traded after June 1st. And because June 1st is just a few days away, there's going to be tons of A.J. Brown trade rumors. But this is why Bleacher Report believes the silver and black should pull the trigger here. Unlike the Patriots and the other teams on the list, the Las Vegas Raiders aren't expected to be chasing the postseason in 2026. However, trading for Brown would still be logical for a couple of reasons. For one, Las Vegas will spend the next few seasons developing rookie quarterback and number 1 overall pick, Fernando Mendoza. While the Raiders have put some nice pieces in place for Mendoza, including Ashton Jeanty, Brock Bowers, and Tyler Linderbaum, they lack a number 1 receiver. Secondly, as Fowler noted, that's Jeremy Fowler, the Raiders might be able to snag A.J. Brown for a 2028 first-round pick, which would be huge. While journeyman Kirk Cousins may play for most of all 2026, this expected to be a transition year for the Raiders. Las Vegas won't want to deal what could be a early first-rounder in 2027 class that could feature likes of Arch Manning, Dante Moore, and Jeremiah Smith. Dealing a 2028 pick for Brown would maintain Las Vegas's options in 2027 while giving Mendoza a number 1 perimeter target for the early stages of his career. After the draft, Raiders GM John Spytek told Up and Adams, beginning at the 10-second mark, that he's happy with the receiver room. However, Brown would be a difference-making addition, and he's under contract through 2029. So let's go to the report of what Jeremy Fowler had to say, because this is kind of what Bleacher Report's throwing out of what this trade could potentially look like. And, you know, for all y'all that are out there watching this at your home right now, take a screenshot of this. Put it on social media. Tag me at Mitchell Renz 365. Like, would you do this trade if you were the Raiders? Would you give up a 2028 first-round pick for Philadelphia Eagles star wide receiver A.J. Brown? If you would, I want you to type a T down below for trade. If you're like, you know what, Mitch, I don't love this because I don't know if it makes sense for the Raiders right now, then I want you to type that P for pass. I started this show off by saying I don't think it makes any sense in hell for the Raiders to trade for A.J. Brown. So you already know I'm typing my P for pass here because I don't want the Raiders to trade for A.J. Brown. If this was Madden and you could turn off injuries and you could turn off the drama, then yeah, I might honestly think about it. But because this isn't Madden and because you can't turn off the drama, I don't want the Raiders to make this move. But coming up here on the program, I'm going to outline many, many more reasons why fans out there shouldn't want the silver and black to trade for A.J. Brown. And I think sometimes what it's really difficult is you got to look at yourself in the mirror. And you got to look at yourself in the mirror and you got to go, does it make sense for the Raiders to trade for A.J. Brown? I think when you answer that question, I think you already know the answer to that one. And we will get into all of that here in just a moment. But before I do, Prize Picks is today's presenting sponsor. And if you're like me, you're going to be watching some hockey. You're going to be watching some basketball while you wait for actual Raiders games to get it going. Now, I do want to be clear. If you want to get a Raiders lineup in for season long, you can already do so. They have players that you can pick more or less on, like Brock Bowers, Ashton Jeanty, Fernando Mendoza, Trey Tucker, Max Crosby, but also in the same breath, this is also some of the best time of the year to actually get a lineup in because, you know, you're going to be able to watch some of these great playoff matchups, and I can't wait to watch what the Vegas Knights got going on tonight against the Colorado Avalanche. Now, again, I'm recording this video on Tuesday when I'm live, so you guys will actually get to see whether or not my lineups are right or wrong. And my lineup that Lopez and I have been showing on the Tuesday live show has been this one. And, you know, we'll see what ends up happening here. It should also be noted that every single Tuesday they do a Taco Tuesday. Victor Wembanyama is at 19.5 points, and also Corey Hart, the goalie for the Las Vegas Golden Knights, or Carter Hart, excuse me, he's the taco for the Golden Knights at 23.5 goalie saves. That's happened the last 5 times on the Moore on that one. So 2 of those deals I really like. And if you are going to be watching any of those games, go down in the comments. It's actually going to be in the very first paragraph in the descriptions down below. If you use code HMA and you've never done a Prize Picks lineup yet, you're actually going to get $50 instantly in lineups when you use code HMA. You just got to play that first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. So here's why the Las Vegas Raiders shouldn't trade for A.J. Brown. There's no doubt that he's an unbelievable player. And, like, I don't want people to think that I don't understand that A.J. Brown is a top 10 wide receiver. But also, Raider fans need to be able to sit back and go, think about how many times we've tried to go out and get the big fish. You try to go out and get the big-name receiver because you're trying to put a Band-Aid over an open wound. Well, how about this year we actually do it the right way? We look at our roster from top to bottom. We look at ourselves in the mirror and we go, this isn't who we are yet. The Raiders are not a team contending for a Super Bowl. And because you're not a team contending for a Super Bowl, I don't think that it makes any sense to go out and make this trade for A.J. Brown because this would be a win-now mode. Yes, I want the Raiders to eventually be a win-now team, but what we should be concentrating on is building for the future, saving that future draft capital and stacking it up later and later and later because as much as I want to be a Super Bowl winning team now, we're going to have a better chance to be a Super Bowl winning team when we probably could have used that 2028 first-round draft pick that we gave away for A.J. Brown. So to me, I would rather you stack up your draft capital, and he's 29 years old right now. 29 years old, or he's going to be 29 years old in June. So that means you're getting an almost 30-year-old wide receiver that wants to be on a team that's in win-now mode. And the other reason why I'm very against bringing in A.J. Brown is because I don't want any diva drama, man. And I bet you some of our Eagles fans here would probably say, oh, A.J.'s not a diva, and it's very, very split between, I've talked to a lot of Eagles fans that are so sick of A.J. Brown, and then I've talked to a lot of Eagles fans that are like, well, I actually think A.J. Brown is in the right because he wants the football more. But to me, we dealt with the 2019 Antonio Brown. We dealt with the 2022 Davante Adams. And what makes me say the exact same thing here is yes, you can add a talented player. Antonio Brown was clearly a talented wide receiver. You can't tell me that he wasn't. Davante Adams was clearly a talented wide receiver. You can't tell me that he wasn't. But it just wasn't the right timing for either one of those players. And it should not have happened because neither one of the guys, I think, was really excited about the job that they were doing. But also in the same breath, I'm like, A.J. Brown was on a team that won the Super Bowl, okay, and has been the most winningest team since 2022 with 50 regular season wins, and yet still wasn't happy being on that team. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that he wants the football, but, like, how annoyed would you be as a fan if your team won 50-plus games, was in 2 Super Bowls over the past 3 years, and won a Super Bowl, and yet the guy that you're paying all this money to still isn't happy? That's unbelievably frustrating for me, and I get it. He's a talented player. But to me, A.J. Brown looks and smells so much like Devontae Adams, Antonio Brown, Randy Moss. It's not even funny. And yes, in a perfect world, A.J. Brown is this unbelievable receiver that no doubt makes us better. But I think in a realistic world, that trade ends up being an absolute disaster for the Silver and Black. Let's go to the final reason here of why I'm not going to trade for A.J. Brown. It's the financial issues. And I am not going to sit here and act like I totally understand the A.J. Brown contract, but the A.J. Brown contract is really what started the whole conversation with void years, because he's got void years on his contract running until 2034. How does it work exactly? I don't fucking know. And like, I'm not even trying to play around with it. Like, I don't 100% know how the contract ends up getting broken down. What I do know is this. A.J. Brown's got 0 guaranteed starting in 2028. He only has $4 million guaranteed also in 2027. So if I think I know A.J. Brown the way that I think I know a lot of star wide receivers, and that $4 million in 2027, he's going to want a brand new contract. He's already due over $110 million the next 4 seasons. He's got a bunch of void years, and typically teams that add all those void years, it's to figure out the compensation to make it work with their timeline. Well, for the Philadelphia Eagles and Howie Roseman, like they're in win-now mode. And for them to be moving on from a player that's in win-now mode for them, that's had so much success with that team, isn't that a little bit of a red flag? And I get it that right now you might be looking at him and go, $110 million, next 4 years I'm getting A.J. Brown at about $25, $26, $27 million per year. That's now. He's going to want another contract. He's going to want a gigantic deal, and that's going to happen when he's just around 30 years old and you gave up a whole bunch of draft capital for him. Is he a talented player? Yes, abso-flippin'-lutely. But I think we got to look ourselves in the mirror and go, it doesn't make any sense for the Las Vegas Raiders to trade for A.J. Brown. So since I said that, and I'm looking down there at the live show right now, and I see a lot of people going like, Mitch, I agree with you. And I'm not saying that everybody's going to agree with me. And I bet you there's going to be a lot of people that probably get mad at me for making this video, because I also do subscribe to we should be a team that tries to keep good players in this locker room and try to bring more good players into the locker room. But I also know the wide receiver position. And I also think it's a little bit unfair to say that we don't have a true number one, because I do know that we have Brock Bowers. And I'll tell you this right now, I'd much rather have Brock Bowers than A.J. Brown. Not even, you could say money's not even an option. I'd much rather have Brock Bowers than A.J. Brown, and it's actually not all that close to me. So we'll get into why the A.J. Brown trade rumors are still important for fans out there, and why Raider Nation should honestly keep an eye on them. And if you can't keep an eye on them, I hope that you know that I'm going to do my best to keep an eye on them for you. We did cross 225,000 subscribers over the weekend, and I just want to say thank you to everybody that watches the show, to people like Mark Call, Bayou Raider, Sherlock, we got Isaac Hernandez today, a bunch of the real ones showing up and showing out every single day. But really, I know that fans are going to show up during football season. But it's the real ones, the people that are still showing up in the middle of May. You guys are a really, really big part of why I love being able to show up and do my job every single day. So to the 225,000 subscribers that make the Raiders Report the number one show in the entire world, thank you. And if you haven't joined, I hope they hit that subscribe button and join the Raiders family. So here's why the rumors are important for all Raider fans out there. He will be a post-June 1st trade. Like, it's been reported out there multiple times, and I think it's almost done deal that A.J. Brown is going to be traded to the New England Patriots. And it's why the article was titled by Bleacher Report, 5 teams not named the Patriots that can make a trade for him. But the reason why that I think fans that should note this is because A.J. Brown, would you make the argument, A.J. Brown is the number one receiver this offseason that could be traded? he's the number one receiver that could be in a new landing destination by the start of next season. I think most NFL fans out there would say, yep, A.J. Brown is the top receiver that could be on the move. And to me, when I think about the potential A.J. Brown trade destinations that are out there, these are the 5 teams that I'd keep an eye on. The Patriots at number 1. The Rams, I'll put at number 2. The Chiefs at number 3, probably looking for a Rashee Rice replacement. Baltimore Ravens at 4. Buffalo Bills at number 5. The thing that you're going to notice on there is lots of AFC teams, right? Because if I'm the Eagles, I want to be able to trade him away from the NFC, and I want him to go to the AFC. Obviously, that impacts the Raiders. Also, the Rams are a team that seems to be in this win-now mode, and there were some A.J. Brown to the Rams trade rumors earlier this offseason, and that's also a team that's on the Raiders' schedule, the Los Angeles Rams. Let's go to the next reason why Raider fans should honestly pay attention to this. The silver and black have been linked to receivers all offseason long. During free agency, during the draft, hell, we're still getting linked to receivers, despite John Spytek and Clint Kubiak both saying that they are very happy with the current receivers that are in their room right now. And I get it, and I get that that's probably, what they're supposed to say, and I'm hopeful of this Raiders wide receiver room on top of that. But we also know that once A.J. Brown is traded, dominoes are going to fall. And in my mind, I'm curious what dominoes do end up falling, because could it force the Raiders to make a move? Because once the A.J. Brown trade falls through, if there's all these other teams that are looking at receivers, and if the Raiders are truly one of those teams that's also looking at a receiver, the next thing I'm going to go is, okay, well, which free agent wide receivers start signing? Because, if you're a team out there that knows that the New England Patriots are interested in A.J. Brown, I bet you that there's agents out there that are in conversations right now with New England. And then as soon as Brown ends up going to New England, well, there's other teams right now that are probably calling around and asking. So those free agent wide receivers, you got to be able to know who's out there, who's available for you. So to me, I look at a lot of these names, and there's a lot of veterans. And, the fact that there's some of these veterans that are out there, I would say these are the top 5 veteran free agent wide receivers out there right now, with Keenan Allen, Deebo Samuel, DeAndre Hopkins, Stephon Diggs, and Brandon Cooks. You're probably going to see 1 or 2 of these names here after the A.J. Brown trade go through. You could see one of these guys end up signing. You could see 2 of these guys signing, because they probably know, okay, A.J.'s off the board. One of those teams that wanted A.J. Brown, they don't have him. So now that they missed out on him, well, where can we allocate some of that money? Where can we allocate some of those resources? Agents are going to be calling. I got 2 more reasons coming up here in just a moment. But YouTube's got a brand new feature. They're calling it Community Spotlight. And this is a totally random Community Spotlight. So how can I explain this? YouTube essentially said that they are going to try to showcase 5 people every single week that they believe are going above and beyond down in the comment section. So to Roger Chandlers, to David L., Mad Vet Raider, Panic, and Lynn Moss, I have no influence at all on how this Community Spotlight works. It's a brand new feature that I'm also trying to see, and I'm also trying to wrap my mind around. But it also tells me, how many comments you're putting. And if YouTube's recognizing you, I'm also going to do my best to recognize you. And then here's another brand new feature. I believe what you see over here is a leaderboard. And I believe YouTube is starting to keep track of the people that have commented the most on all of the videos that I've ever published on this YouTube channel. So if you want to see your name on a future Raiders Report show, I hope that you try to be like some of these sickos on here and comment on my videos more and more and more, because I ask questions for a reason. I ask all of y'all to interact with us for a reason. We are called Chat Sports for a reason. If you spend time watching these videos and going down in the comments and interacting, I'm going to take time out of my day to also let you know that I see you and I appreciate you. Let's go to the next part here, why the A.J. Brown trade rumors are important for the Raiders. I think there's also trade dominoes that are going to end up falling, and maybe even more so than just some of the free agent dominoes, because guys like Keenan Allen are going to get opportunities, right? Deebo Samuel's going to get an opportunity. However, though, I look at 3 names on this list and I go, well, as soon as A.J. Brown's traded to the New England Patriots, Kayshon Boutte, I guarantee you, he's going to be looking for his way out. How does that impact guys like Keon Coleman? How does that impact guys like Joshua Palmer? Does it impact somebody like Jerry Jeudy, who's been on the trade block? Brian Thomas Jr.'s name is continuously floated out there. And I wonder, could an NFL team go, well, I want to try to get A.J. Brown, and if I can't get A.J. Brown, can I get Brian Thomas Jr.? Because the Raiders are continuously linked to the wide receiver position, you're damn right that the A.J. Brown trade influences this team. But the final reason, because the NFL, and I say this a lot during certain times of the year, timing is everything. If there's one thing that I know for a fact that I've learned in working around the Raiders, working around the NFL, timing is everything, and deadlines make deals. Because June 1st is about to happen, and there's a bunch of teams that are waiting for that June 1st time to happen because, sometimes you get new money. Some contracts, they look a little bit different, but it's also the timing of it. Because the Raiders, you got OTAs. They end up wrapping up OTAs. Their final day is June 4th. And for the Raiders, Clint Kubiak, Spytek, I think that they truly want to be able to evaluate Dante Thornton Jr., Jack Besh, this young receiver room, before they go out and decide to either A, sign a player, B, trade for a player. So they want to evaluate, but it's the timing because June 1st happens. If you're the Raiders, you're going, okay, I still want to be able to evaluate some of these players at, voluntary OTAs. But once mandatory minicamp June 9th starts, could you see a potential player sign in between these two dates? Could the Raiders potentially sign or trade for a player that they see at the end of OTAs a little bit before mandatory minicamp starts? Because in my mind, if the Raiders are truly confident in that wide receiver room, then I don't really think that they do make a move before mandatory minicamp. But if the Raiders are saying all the right things now because they want to just truly see what they have before making a move after June 1st, that totally could change it. Because I know that I'm not the only Raiders fan that has probably felt like, yeah, we do need another receiver. Yeah, this has got to be a team that's interested in a receiver. I thought that they were going to take a receiver much earlier in the NFL draft than what they ended up doing. And if they still say, you know what, we passed on the draft the way that we did, we kind of passed on free agency the way they did, and if they end up not making any moves after this date and before this date, I'm probably going to say to myself yet again, hey, they're telling you right to your face, they are confident in that wide receiver room, and their actions are telling you. Their free agency actions, their draft actions, and now their post-OTAs, pre-mandatory minicamp actions are also telling you that the Raiders are a lot more confident in that wide receiver room, which could be another reason why you don't trade for A.J. Brown. So in conclusion here, the Raiders, they're not going to be trading for A.J. He's probably going to continuously get linked to the Raiders in certain articles like this one from Bleacher Report, but I want to just sit up here and tell you that no, I don't think the trade's ever going to happen, but it is important to follow the rumors that may or may not transpire, free agency, and also like the trade market. A.J. Brown trade is going to lead to more dominoes happening. He is absolutely positively going to get traded here after June 1st, but I think coaches' opinions on wide receivers and which ones could potentially make this team and which ones not, I think that you could see a lot of those questions being answered after the A.J. Brown trade. All right, y'all. Appreciate each and every one of y'all tuning in to this show. I know that it's the off season. I know not a lot of Raiders action is happening, but I am always going to be bringing the action here on the Raiders Report, and we're going to do our best to talk about all things going on with the Silver and Black. So after hearing about that, are you in agreement? Trade for A.J. Brown. Give me a yes. Give me a no. You let me know down below. Garth Raider, what's going on, my man? Mitch, does your source say if Rodgers is pushing Meredith and Burford for that left guard position? I will say, again, I got a lot of different sources. I don't want it to make it seem like I only have one source, and based on the sources at this time of the year, it's very hit or miss. So I'll just say what I know about each of these players. So what I know about each of these players is I was talking about Spencer Burford being a sneaky starter option way before OTA started, and now Burford's being a sneaky starter option. They love his They love the way he moves. They love his mentality. They love his physicality. They love the way that Burford, Linderbaum, and JPJ play together. And sometimes, like, we got to look at it as it's kind of like even like a basketball reference. Like, an offensive line is more important about who are the best five guys that play together. It's sometimes not like I actually don't think Burford is a top five offensive lineman on our team. I don't. I think Jordan Meredith honestly might be a better offensive lineman in the certain system that you put him in. However, though, I think that they value Burford, Linderbaum, and JPJ on the interior with the style of offense that they want to run. They view that trio as being the best interior trio on this team. I personally don't think that Caleb is really going to be pushing for much. I think Caleb Rodgers, you're kind of looking at as being a a player that you're hoping is on this team in 3 years from now. I think he's predominantly just going to be a backup offensive lineman, which, again, like that's not that bad of a role, right? Like for a team that's had so much offensive line issues, I actually think that the depth that you have is interesting because Charles Grant can play left tackle and right tackle. Trey Zune can play interior offensive line. He can also swing out to the tackle positions. Caleb Rogers was known for playing every single position on the offensive line at Texas Tech. He was a team captain, and people absolutely love him in that room. And then you got Jordan Meredith, also the same thing, can play multitude of different positions. So, in terms of pushing players in positions, I would say Burford is by far the starter. I think Caleb Rogers, because they drafted him where they did, but Meredith, there's a reason why I'm talking about Meredith coming up here in a little bit as being a potential trade candidate for the Raiders. Raider Tone, what up, Raider Tone? Instead of trading for A.J. Brown, trade up in next year's draft for wide receiver Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State. I guess what do you think it would cost? And like that's kind of the question because I would say Jeremiah Smith next year is no doubt a top 5 pick. So the only way that you're getting Jeremiah Smith, because you're saying instead of trading for A.J. Brown, trade up in next year's draft for, like to me, if you want this to happen and you're not a top 5 pick, like you're going to give up your 2028 first. So like, would you give up 2 first-round picks for Jeremiah Smith when you could just give up 1 for A.J. Brown? I actually would rather get Jeremiah Smith. I want to be clear on that. I would much rather trade 2 first-round picks for Jeremiah Smith than giving up 1 for A.J. Brown. Maybe that's a hot take, but I'm very confident in Smith. He's been working with Fernando Mendoza this offseason. I'm kind of shocked because I know that the Smith family was not very happy with the Raiders on their treatment of Geno, but again, they're only looking at it from their standpoint. They're not looking at it, I think, at the real-life standpoint. But this one's tough for me. Would I love for the Raiders to have Jeremiah Smith? Yes. This also tells me that we were one of the worst teams in the NFL, and I just don't want to be one of the worst teams in the NFL again. So if there's a chance, awesome. But the only way that this is even a potential in my mind is if the Raiders are a 4-5 win team. And Jesus Christ, I hope that we're not a 4-5 win team. I just don't know if I can handle that again. So before we get into the final segment here on the Raiders Report today, there is a big-time basketball game going down. You got the Oklahoma City Thunder up against the San Antonio Spears. I'm going to go refill my water. My guy Lopez is going to talk to you guys about this game. He's a hoop head here at Chat Sports. And I'm just going to go fill up my water. I'm going to go get a little refreshment, and just give me like a minute or two. I'll be right back. But talk to them about this game. Let him know down below who you guys got. And if you don't know, Chat Sports will be live for this game tonight on the main channel.
I believe Coop and Rolly?
I think it's Coop and Rolly
I know they
tonight.
both got here late, so I imagine they're probably together.
I want this game. I want this series to go 7.
I think it's going 7.
You think it's going 7?
I think whoever wins, I think Oklahoma's probably going to win tonight.
Yeah.
I don't think San Antonio is going to lose in the wild crowd of San Antonio in Game 6.
I took the Thunder to win in 6 on Prize Picks, so you
really need to win tonight.
I really need a win tonight.
I really need to win.
Though, I mean, I'll say this right now. I would rather the Spurs win in 7. I'd rather this series go 7 games than me get my Prize Picks lineup right. Because my Prize Picks like 5 to win 20.
So we're asking, would you pay $20 for this series to go 7?
Yes.
Okay.
I want a game 7. So that's honestly why I did it. I was like, all right, if I figured if a team were to win in 6, it'd be the Thunder, not the Spurs. So I took the Thunder in 6 games because in my mind, if it went 7, that's a win. That's a win. All right, I'll be right back. Give me a minute. I just got to go grab a water and a drink.
So y'all get y'all predictions in the comments right now. Tell me who you got, OKC or San Antonio. We'll give a couple shout-outs. If you want to talk about the game, we can talk about the game. If you want to build a Prize Picks lineup, maybe the chat can help you. I don't know. If you use code HMA, you get $50 in free lineups once you play your first $5 lineup. Only at Prize Picks. Oh, and understand. What's up? I imagine I will see you tomorrow on Texans. Norton Stanton, I hate both of them as a Houston fan. Yeah, I get it. I'm a Lakers fan. The Thunder kicked our ass, and we had some battles with the Spurs back when I was younger. Haven't really had that in a while, though. I'm in pain. Wemby should have been Houston's. You were this close. It was close. I stopped watching basketball when Kobe died. Yeah. Basketball definitely doesn't hit as much as it did with, like, middle school. I also think that's just life getting in the way of things. Like, I used to watch so much basketball when I was younger. I still do watch a good bit, but it hit different. Talking hoops at, like, the lunch table. It was a great time. It was a great time. So, like I said, I probably got OKC winning tonight. I need him for my prize picks lineup. Alex Caruso get over 13 points, rebounds, assists. Shea, stay under 29.5 points. You haven't hit 30 this whole series, so let's keep that pattern going, if you don't mind. Professor saying, as a Lakers fan, OKC needs to lose. I would say, yeah, if we're going strictly off the Lakers standpoint, because we just got our ass kicked by them. Like, we're rivals with the Spurs, but that hasn't really been reignited in the past few years, so if you're going straight hate watch and you're a Lakers fan, you probably want the Thunder just to collapse.
See, the way that I look at it is because the Thunder won last year, I usually don't like teams to go back-to-back. Like, I would want, like, a new team to win, but then also in the same breath, I'm like, the Spurs have just done so much more winning than the Thunder have in their history.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a bitter one for me. But I think the reason why I also want the Spurs to win is because, how can I put this? I like watching talented players, and SGA is unbelievable, but there is a little bit. His game's kind of getting annoying to watch for me. He flops a lot.
He didn't do this when he was a younger player, so some veteran gave him this advice. Like, the NBA is going to give you these calls.
Yeah.
Like, as much as you want to blame SGA, if the NBA just
league.
stopped giving him the calls, eventually he's going to stop. It's just going to happen.
I'm not necessarily putting the blame on SGA. I'm putting the blame on me as a sports fan. Like, again, if I'm going to watch an NBA game, a basketball game, I want to watch certain players. And to me, the top player is SGA or Victor Wembanyama. I'm going to watch Wemby over SGA, and I know SGA is the MVP. I'm going to watch Wemby 9 times out of 10 over SGA. But it's also the style of play. It's just like, it's kind of annoying to watch. I like, how can I put this? I like being able to go to soccer games. But the number one thing that drives me nuts when I go to soccer games is all the flopping, right?
Dude, it's kind of like roll around on the ground.
But
like,
there's something about it's the annoyance factor. It's kind of like, you could go to a super nice dinner, and I love being able to go to a nice dinner, but if the person I'm eating dinner with is chomping on their food and slapping their mouth, that's SGA to me. SGA is I'm at dinner right now with somebody and they're just smacking their mouth. Like, I want to be able to watch it and not get annoyed when I'm watching it. And I don't know how else to put it besides that. Maybe that's an unfair thing to say, but it's just how I feel.
I'll piggyback off that. Shea is a great player. I don't know if he is in top 5 in my mind of guys that I would want to watch. If there's a game on, I'm like, oh, this guy's playing. I need to watch that. I don't
probably
know if
in
Shea is
agreement
a
with
point
that.
in television.
I mean, I'm in agreement with that. I mean, right now, NBA, like guys that I'm watching in the league, I would put Victor Wembanyama above him. I'd probably put Jokic above him.
Yeah.
Um,
Luka on a hot streak.
I honestly
crazy.
probably would put Luka above him.
Anthony Edwards will be really explosive. I like him. I like watching Anthony Edwards.
I like the tenacity Anthony Edwards plays with. Like, that guy's, he just seems like he plays with his hair on his fire the entire time. I mean, is it bad? Like, I know LeBron's not, but LeBron's still LeBron. Like,
he still gets you 20
I'm a
something
LeBron
points
guy.
a
Like,
game.
I'm always going to be a LeBron guy. If you're not a LeBron guy, it's totally fine. Again, like, I love watching LeBron play. Luka doesn't play defense from Luda. You're not wrong.
No one plays defense anymore.
And that's kind of the other issue with the NBA. The NBA right now defensively sucks, but you also see, like, in the playoffs, like, when teams want to play defense, they do. And and it's so much more fun to watch. So much more fun to watch. I don't know. I'm trying to think of some other guys in the league. Bottom line is, I'm going to root for the Spurs here in this game. I hope that they end up getting a win. Man, I do it to aggravate her sometimes from Bayou Raider. I don't know what y'all are talking about. LeBron, the GOAT from Big Raz, definitely not the GOAT. He's in the GOAT conversation, and I think that that's an okay thing to say.
I was never around to watch Jordan, so...
And I
think that's like the biggest thing these days. Like, the younger people are going to be like, oh, LeBron, because they saw him with their eyes. They saw what he does.
But then there's also about to be a generation that only knows like the last 3, 4, 5 years of LeBron.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't remember the just unbelievable greatness that he was. People are typing Kobe. And Kobe's one of the greatest of all time. It's just the different eras, man. It's just like football, right? Like Patrick Mahomes is unbelievable, but I also think Patrick Mahomes is kind of the SGA. Like you're not going to down the talent, but there's sometimes like the flopping and stuff. But he gets it. He's going to get it. He's going to get it.
Yeah.
All right, I got to get out of this NBA conversation. Let's go back into some of this Raiders convo. And I saw an article out there, and it was around the idea of, trade candidates from one player from each team. I saw Jordan Meredith was listed for the Las Vegas Raiders, and I thought it made a lot of sense. So I'm going to kind of just talk about, Jordan Meredith. I'm going to talk about here a little bit why I think it could make sense. I'm also going to talk about why, I don't know if the Raiders truly want to move on from Meredith. And I actually also gave you guys some fun trade ideas in here. But if the Raiders traded an offensive lineman this week, who would it be? Let me know down below. Now, I probably should phrase this, if the Raiders traded an offensive lineman after June 1st. Probably the best way that I should have put it. If the Raiders trade an offensive lineman this offseason, who do you think it would be? Let me know down below. If you were to trade one person on the offensive line, who would it be? Like, to me, some names that I think fans are going to throw out there is a Jordan Meredith. I wonder if a name like Caleb Rogers is thrown out there. I wonder, could somebody throw out the name of, I don't want to give away all my names here. JPJ, could somebody throw a name like that? Spencer Burford maybe could be a name to throw out there. What about DJ Glaze? Trade for Joe Alt, not going to happen. Not going to happen, not going to happen. Luda Sigla says Charles Grant. No, I don't think that they would trade Grant because they want to be able to use him at left tackle, and they just drafted him. And maybe this was a tough question to ask, so maybe that's on me. Bayou Raider, appreciate you, my dog. Caesar, Mitch, I got my Raider tickets versus the Rams. Pull up, do a live stream from Allegiant. Well, I wish that I could do a live stream from Allegiant. The Raiders will not allow me, and neither will the NFL, so I cannot do it. I will say this. The game that I am going to is going to be Raiders-Seahawks. That's Week 10. I don't know who's going to be live on the Raiders Report that week, but I will be in attendance for that game. And as much as, it's not that I don't want to. It's the Raiders in the NFL pay a lot of money, to get those naming rights, and it will not happen. Now, there's always a chance, like if somebody knew like a bar or a restaurant that wanted to have a watch party with me there, that's obviously a conversation that can be had. But truthfully, I don't think people realize how expensive it is for me and my team to go out and do a watch party. And we do charge a high number, but that's only because of, honestly, what it takes from our end in order to do it. But, and again, it's a lot of technologies on the move. We got a lot of things that need to happen in order for us to have a awesome product. Sherlock said a Holiday Inn.
Dude, that could be lit. The Holiday Inn ballroom. Raiders Report is live.
I mean, I know Sherlock knows people at Holiday Inn, but Sherlock, I mean, if they're interested, I can give you the price tag on it. I'm just going to let you know it's a lot higher than what you think it is. So, but I also don't mind just being able to go for one weekend and just chillaxing and watching the game. Yep. It'll be interesting. Sherlock, I know. You and I talked about it the other day. I don't think, again, I'm not trying to be, I don't want people to, we're not going to get into it. You can message me, Sherlock. You can message me. We'll figure it out. But I hope it's a great game. I did a show the other day. It was like the hardest game apparently on the Raiders' schedule. The hardest game on the Raiders' schedule was Raiders against the Rams. Though I don't totally disagree with that. I mean, you're going up against Sean McVay. It's always going to be a tough game. Week 7, that's also right after the Bills, the Patriots, and the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's a gauntlet, dude. The Rams game is a very, very difficult game. Very, very difficult game. The Motel Hotel Holiday Inn.
I was supposed to say Holiday Inn. I fucked it up. I'm so sorry, Rebel.
We at the Motel Hotel Holiday Inn. Oh, man. That's, Who sings that?
Pitbull.
Mr. 305. I was like, who? I could literally hear it. Yeah, because pretty sure we made that joke last week, now that I say that out loud.
He was in Dallas this Saturday.
Mr. 305?
Yeah, me and my sister went.
Oh, shit. How was it?
We went to Pitbull. It was great.
No, I remember you saying that now.
Pitbull was great.
Yeah?
Dude. It's a sight.
What, the concert or the people at the concert?
Yes.
Or both, yeah.
Yes. Shout out to Pitbull for bringing all the Dallas Latinas together.
Well.
Thank you, Pitbull.
I guess if my wife and I never work out, I don't even need to download a dating app. I'll just go to SeatGeek.
Travel Pitbull.
I'll go to SeatGeek. I'll go to a Pitbull concert, and then we'll be good again.
It's a great time.
I'm kidding, honey. I'm kidding. All right, let's get into the next segment here on the Raiders Report. It's going to be around a Jordan Meredith trade. I saw an article, and anytime I see an article on something, I want to at least be able to give you guys my 2 cents on it, especially if I agree with that article. And this article that I saw was written by somebody that I follow on social media. I respect the content that he provides, and I wanted to be able to give my 2 cents on it. So as soon as I get the thumbs up here, we're going to be rocking and rolling next segment.
Should be good.
All righty. Hang on. One more. All right. 3, 2, 1. Let's get it rocking. Coming up today here on the Raiders Report, Jordan Meredith was selected as a Raiders trade candidate by PFSN. And today, I'm going to tell you why I could see the Silver and Black moving on from offensive lineman Jordan Meredith. To make sure that they don't move on from me, shout out to today's sponsor, Prize Picks. If you don't know, use code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. So I saw an article from PFSN titled, "One Player from Each Team That Could Potentially Be Traded Away." The person that wrote this article, his name is Jacob Infante, and I follow him on Twitter. Really good content creator. I think he makes a lot of fun stuff. But when I first started doing this show, I would see articles out there, and I'd want to be able to get my 2 cents on them, especially when I agree with what this article is saying. So, a below-average starter at center for the Las Vegas Raiders in 2025, Jordan Meredith ranked number 36th among 39 qualified centers in PFSN offensive line impact scoring. The Raiders spent serious money to sign Tyler Linderbaum in free agency, moving Meredith over to the bench. Third-round rookie Trey Zune III has center experience as well. Though he's hardly a standout lineman, Meredith's starting experience could make him a valuable depth piece for another team. So my question to Raider Nation out there is, will the Raiders trade Jordan Meredith this offseason? If you think that there is a shot that they move on from 61, type trade down below. If you think that there is a chance that the Raiders are just going to keep Jordan Meredith, I want you to type keep down below, because for me, this is what I think. I would say that there is a 25% chance that Jordan Meredith is traded this offseason. I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm not saying that it's likely. But I could absolutely positively see, with a lot of the things that the Raiders have done this offseason, why the Silver and Black could potentially move on from Meredith. I do believe that if the Raiders were offered a 5th-round pick or higher, they would have already traded them. They would move on from Jordan Meredith in a heartbeat. But I don't know if there's going to be any teams out there that are going to offer you a 5th-round pick for him. But the reason why teams would be interested in Jordan is because of the multiple position flexibility that he can play with. He's played left guard, he's played center, and he's played right guard. When you can play 3 different positions and you need to be in the right scheme in order for you to be your best, and I personally think Meredith is at his best at left guard, so that's just something to keep in mind. So I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to break down why I could see the Raiders ultimately trading away Jordan Meredith. But again, I'm not saying they're going to trade him. I'm saying I'm going to try to paint the picture of why, yes, if a trade went down, this is why I think a trade would potentially go down. Let's first go to the free agency additions that Las Vegas made. Actions speak louder than words, and the Raiders brought back Jordan Meredith on a 1-year, basically like $3.5 million deal. They tendered him. They brought him back just like Thomas Booker. But then the Raiders also, after doing that, they also went out and they made Tyler Linderbaum the highest paid center in the National Football League. The previous highest paid center was making $18 million a year. Now Tyler Linderbaum makes $27 million per year, and Meredith was the center last year. If you don't like your center, you upgrade. And when you really don't like your center, you go out and you spend a shit ton of money, which the Raiders did on Linderbaum. The Raiders also signed Spencer Burford, who's got Clint Kubiak ties and is already getting starting reps at left guard at OTAs. So I've always said that I thought Meredith was at his best at left guard. Spencer Burford, left guard. Burford also can play right guard, which kind of hurts Meredith's ability as well. The Raiders have also doubled down and said, hey, we like JPJ. So the fact that Meredith is a clear backup this offseason after 676 snaps last offseason, you're probably not going to get a player that gets that many snaps again. So if you feel like Jordan Meredith is at his high point in terms of value, I would rather the Raiders try to sell high instead of not getting anything for him, because I don't see another year in Meredith's career where he's probably playing 676 snaps. Let's go to the next reason here why I could see the Raiders moving on from Meredith. Look at the past 2 drafts. And the reason why you got to look at the past 2 drafts is because of John Spytek and because of what John Spytek has done. I'll go through these past 2 drafts here in just a moment, but Prize Picks is today's presenting sponsor, and if you are new to Prize Picks, I can get you $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup over on America's #1 sports app, which is available in all 50 states. Now, if you don't know, I'm actually going to put this link for you guys down in the comments, down in the description. In the description, it's actually going to be in the very first paragraph, so you can just easily click on that link, and then you can join Prize Picks. When you click on that link, that tells them that I'm sending you from Chat Sports, and obviously, the more people that click on it, the more that it helps me out. So if you want to show Prize Picks that you're a part of our Raiders Report family, use code HMA to get $50 instantly in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup, and that's coming from a guy that just missed out on this. Like, bro, and I love Prize Picks because even in a game that sucks, in the Knicks-Cavs series, it sucked. It was a 4-0 blowout. They get out the brooms, get out the sweep. But, bro, I'm watching a blowout game, game 4, because I need half a freaking point from the beard. I was not very happy with James Harden, but, like, this is why I love Prize Picks, and I'm showing you guys an L because even though I took an L, I'm still watching that game at the end going, come on, James. Come on, James. And unfortunately, it never happened for me. And I think if the game would have been a little bit closer, it would have ended up going down. But whether you're watching a basketball game, whether you're watching a baseball game, whether you're watching a hockey game, get a Prize Picks lineup in. And if you want to follow me, you can. I'm at MitchellRens365. So pick more, pick less. It's really that simple. Download the Prize Picks app today. Make sure that you use code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. So let's look at these past 2 drafts here. You drafted Trey Zune in the 3rd round, 91st overall. Think about the type of player that Jordan Meredith is. I think Jordan Meredith is a left guard, center, right guard. Versatile player. I think Trey Zune at this point of his career, I don't know if Zune's better than Jordan Meredith right now, but do I think that Trey Zune is going to be better than Jordan Meredith in 2 to 3 years from now? Yes, I do. And I think the Raiders also drafted Zune with that exact same mindset because of all the positions that he can play. But also the Raiders drafted Caleb Rogers, who can play right guard and left guard. You also drafted Charles Grant in the 3rd round. So that is a total of 3 offensive linemen that John Spytek drafted in the 3rd round that I think all do what Jordan Meredith does. They just probably do it or have a higher ceiling than Meredith does overall. So the past 2 drafts of Spytek tell me that they're more than likely they could move on from Meredith this offseason if they wanted to move on from an offensive lineman. Let's go to the next reason here. You got a brand new regime. And I know it's a new regime for every single player, but players that are a part of a new regime that have multi-year contracts, they just have a little bit more stability. And yes, the Raiders did bring back Jordan Meredith, but this is also his 4th different regime since 2022. He's getting a brand new offensive line coach, and Rick Dennison, I think, has a certain player that they look for. I think Meredith kind of was able to make it with this team because, one, they didn't really truly know what they had in a lot of these other offensive linemen, but Meredith was somebody that I think shows coaches that he's got it up here. And I know from experience talking to people that Meredith is very much a guy that has it up here, and I think he kind of sweet-talked his way maybe into a starting position last year, and for whatever reason, Brennan Carroll. The fact that I even confused Carmen Brasillo and Cameron Brasillo, wow. The fact that I even can confuse Carmen Brasillo, who is actually a great Raiders offensive line coach, with Brennan Carroll is just, I deserve all the tomatoes in the entire world. But I don't think that Meredith is as good of a fit in a Kubiak system because I don't think he shows the amount of power. I don't think that he shows the amount of athletic ability that you're looking for when you're talking about that perfect 5 starting offensive lineman for the Raiders. Because what Burford is compared to what Meredith is, I think is a totally, totally different option. And then, the final reason here, maybe it's not the final reason, fourth reason here, the money aspect side of it. If you can make money, and if the Raiders make money is not the right way, if you can save money by moving on from Jordan Meredith, I do think that the Raiders should consider it. Because to me, when you talk about the starting offensive lineman and the offensive lineman that I expect to make this Raiders roster, there's 9 offensive linemen. Can you show the depth chart for me real quick? So because it's going to be Colton Miller, Spencer Burford, Tyler Linderbaum, JPJ, DJ Glaze, Charles Grant, Caleb Rogers, Trey Zune, and then would you all agree that the next name is Jordan Meredith? Because Zune, Rogers, and Grant were just drafted, and then you have your starters, that tells me that I believe Jordan Meredith is the 9th offensive lineman that the Raiders care about. That's just a guess. And I'm only saying that because Zune, Rogers, and Grant were just drafted by Spytek, and all the other players that are the starters there, I believe Meredith is the 9th offensive lineman that the Raiders have on this team. So the reason why that I bring that up is because if you can save $3.52 million and you're not worried about, hey, if somebody goes down, you have a Trey Zune that can play multiple spots, a Charles Grant that can play multiple spots, a DJ Glaze that can play multiple spots, a JPJ. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't think Meredith's position, if somebody goes down, yes, Meredith could fill it, but there's also a lot of other people that can fill Meredith's spot. So if you cut him or you trade him, you save $3.52 million. And yes, I get the fact that the Raiders brought him back, but they also brought him back on a $0 million guaranteed deal. So because there will be teams out there that are always looking for offensive line depth, I don't think that this is a move that the Raiders trade Jordan Meredith today. And again, I'm giving it only 25% at the time that I'm recording this on Tuesday, May 26th. But maybe in July, maybe in August when some other offensive lineman injuries happen, it could actually end up happening because of this reason here. Offensive line versatility. The NFL will always value linemen, whether you're good, whether you're bad. If you can play multiple spots on a line, teams are going to value you. And I get the fact that Meredith really did struggle last season. He played 539 at center, and he played 137 snaps at right guard. But in 2022 to 2024 is where I believe that you saw the best Jordan Meredith. Jordan Meredith in 2024 was by far at his best. And it's because they put him at guard, left guard, and they played him at right guard. But because NFL teams will always value versatility and they're always going to value offensive line depth, I do wonder if a team, if they end up losing a certain player, go, you know what? I can pick up the phone. I can call the Raiders because I do wonder if Jordan Meredith is available. And I know I'm talking a lot about trades here, and some of y'all are probably like, man, we are in the dog days of May. Mitch is talking about Jordan Meredith trades. That's why I want you to hit that subscribe button. It's why, to all y'all that are watching this show right now, I know you're a Raiders sicko like me. I know you're a real one because there's not many people that, one, want to hear about Jordan Meredith trade conversation. There's also not many people on planet Earth that can talk about Jordan Meredith getting traded. And if you're that Raiders fan that no matter what time of the year it is, you want that information, hit that subscribe button. So coming up here, I'm going to talk about some of these Jordan Meredith trade ideas that I've cooked up. And you're not going to be blockbuster trades, but hey, I'm going to show you 3 teams that I think could end up pulling the trigger and why they could do it. Before I do, though, if there's anybody out there that's looking to get some Raiders Report merch, go to chatsports.com/RR shop. Whether you're looking for t-shirts, whether you're looking for hoodies, if you're looking for a pint glass, I've been sipping out of my pint glass today. It's not vodka, it's water. I've had, I don't even know how many cups of coffee today. I probably need a few more in me. But we got all sorts of different Raiders Report merch, gear. If you see somebody wearing something Raiders Report, I hope that you go up and hope that you introduce yourself. I want to keep on growing this family. Also, I'm going to ask, I haven't gotten tagged on Instagram in a few days. If you do have a Raiders Report shirt, and if you're like, Mitch, I've already tagged you once, dude, tag me again. Send me another photo with you, your family. The more and more people, like, I love being able to show the shirts. and I have to do it because I'm at my job. So if I could say, hey, go get a Raiders Report shirt, and instead of just showing this, if I could show Sherlock down below rocking his F the Raven shirt, then hey, I'd much rather do that. Maybe I could share a big Raz. You see what I'm saying? Yoda Jenkins. Bottom line is, if you have any Raiders Report stuff, tag me on Instagram at MitchellRens365, and that way I'll see that you tag me, and I can keep on showing all the awesome purchases, all the awesome people that support this program here. So let's go through, and I'm going to show you some Meredith trade destinations, and then I'm going to give you a trade idea of ultimately why I decided to go that route. So the very first team that I'm going to mention here is the San Francisco 49ers, and I think that the 49ers could be a team to watch out that could potentially trade for Jordan Meredith because they don't have a lot of left guard depth. They don't have a lot of right guard depth. And, you know, considering the fact that they lost out on a Spencer Burford, considering the fact that they just have some different moving pieces in there, that's one reason. The 49ers, though, also have 2 7th-round picks. And I wonder if the 49ers, because they have 2 7th-round picks, would do a trade something like this, where the Las Vegas Raiders get a 6th-round pick in 2027, and San Francisco gets some extra interior offensive line depth. And if there's one thing that Kyle Shanahan could probably use, it's always the extra offensive line depth, because for whatever reason, that team just always has offensive line injuries. So because the Raiders don't have a 7th, we can't do a pick swap here, which I've kind of thought about doing. We don't have a 7th next year. So I said, all right, the 49ers are trading for a potential starting left guard, and this is also going to be a spot where the Raiders get a 6th-round pick. Let's go to another team here that I think maybe, if Jordan Meredith did become available, could end up making a move. It's going to be the Indianapolis Colts, and I would say the number one team that's kind of risky at that center position is Indianapolis. With that same breath, I don't know if the Colts would want to put Jordan Meredith at center. So because I see Indy potentially making that move for him as a depth piece at that center spot, and if their starter goes down, then maybe Meredith could go in there. I'm going to say it's a 7th-round pick. So for the Indianapolis Colts, they have 3 7th-round picks in the 2027 NFL Draft. The Raiders do not have any. So the Colts, they end up getting Jordan Meredith. The Las Vegas Raiders, they get a 2027 7th-round pick. Now, again, the way that these trades in my mind are working, if the Raiders are planning on moving on from Meredith, it's because, in my personal opinion, they view him as their 9th best offensive lineman, which I have described on this video. Let's go to the final trade here that I got for the Silver and Black. It's the Minnesota Vikings, and the Vikings are another team that they got a little bit of question marks there on that interior, but the NFC North is such a tough division, and I actually think that a lot of people are sleeping on the Vikings because, you know, they were really bad last year. They were 9-8. You know, like, I feel like when people talk about Minnesota, they talk about them being this horrific team with bad quarterback play. Kyler Murray is going to be much better than anything that they got last season, and they, on paper, have an unbelievably great defense. So the reason why that I bring this up is because this is a team that needs to be able to block well. They need to be able to run between the tackles, and they need some extra depth at center, and they also need some extra depth at the offensive guard position. So this is the trade that I ended up cooking up here for the Vikings. The Vikings have 2 5th-round picks, so I wonder, could the Raiders potentially get one of those 5th-rounders? And essentially, it's a pick swap. So we get a 5th and a 7th. The Vikings end up getting our 6th-round pick, and then also on top of that, Jordan Meredith. So this is a team that is essentially giving, like, out of all the deals possible, I do think that this is the best deal for the Raiders because you're getting that 5th-round pick. But also at the same time, I want to know what trade you guys thought was the best. So we have option number 1 here. The 49ers making a move for Jordan Meredith. We get a 6th-round pick in return. You got the Indianapolis Colts. You get a 7th-round pick. You send them to the AFC, Jordan Meredith. And then you got the Minnesota Vikings, where you see a 5th and a 7th swap. You get Jordan Meredith, or Jordan Meredith goes to Minnesota, and they also get our 6th-round pick. So if you want to let me know which trade you think is the best, give me a 1, give me a 2, give me a 3. So shout out to all y'all that always pull up here to the Raiders Report. Before I hop on out of here today, I do actually like Jordan Meredith, the player. And I felt like I said this a lot last season when I actually said it a lot about Isaiah Paul-Amal, where I'm like, if you're not planning on putting Isaiah Paul-Amal at strong safety and you want to play him at free safety, you're probably honestly better on trading him. And I'll say it again for this year. If you look at Jordan Meredith and you go, he's got to be a center on the Raiders instead of him being an offensive guard, you're probably just better off trying to get rid of them or cut them, trade them for whatever you can. But I don't know if there will be a team out there that makes a trade for Jordan and Meredith now. But if you were to look at me dead in the eyes and say if there was one offensive lineman that the Raiders could trade this offseason, my best bet would be Jordan Meredith. The Weldinator! Bang! Back! What up, Weldy? It's good to see you, my brother. Raiders. What up, Mitch? Hope all is well right now, bro. I'm good. It's been a bit of a rough week over here for the business. I was at the San Francisco Zoo yesterday, and I saw a ton of Raiders fans. Best believe we are making a big comeback. I did see your Instagram story. I did see that you were at the zoo. I'm a sucker for a good zoo trip. I would love, like, when my buddy had his kid down here, we got to take her to the zoo. That was probably, like, one of the coolest. I mean, kids just get so excited about the zoo. I love the zoo. I'm a big animal person. I love the Animal Planet. I don't know what your favorite animal is, the Weldinator, but I'm sorry that the business has been, a little bit of a rough stretch. I'll just say this. You just started the business. I think, truthfully, for anybody out there, if you start a business, and I did not start Chat Sports, but we were very much a startup company, I think you got to be willing to go balls to the wall for at least a year or two, and you got to be willing to not make money in order for you to make money at some point, because now, there was a lot of times here at Chat Sports we didn't make any money. Like, it's the truth, right? And I think anybody that's ever started a business, like, you can't honestly think that you're going to be making money right away. And you're going to have your ups and your downs. And if you end up making it, Weldinator, you're going to look back and you're going to go, at these moments defined the type of person that I am. Like, I'm very proud of the young man that I've become, but, I look back at a lot of the times very early on in my career here at Chat Sports, and even before I was here at Chat Sports. And there's like certain situations you're like, man, that was tough, or man, that didn't go the way that I wanted it to go. And now I look back at a lot of those times and I'm like, that happened for a reason. Like, I can remember the first time I applied, I wanted to be a podcaster for Fantasy Pros. Maybe you guys have heard of that company before. And they chose another person who I will not name over me, and he ended up being in a pretty large scandal, is how I'll put it. But I remember how heartbroken I was that I didn't get that job opportunity, and I often think to myself, man, if I would have got that job opportunity, what would I be doing? And I don't think I'd be here right now at the Raiders Report. I don't think I'd be here right now at Chat Sports. And truthfully, I think me being down here is the best thing that's ever happened in my personal career. So if anybody can also give Weldinator some advice, I hope what I'm saying is it's probably, you've probably heard it before, but I mean it, dude. It's sometimes the toughest weeks you look back on and you're like, this really helped shape me. This really helped make me. And, at the end of the day, I'm always going to bet on me. And I think anybody that's watching the show should always bet on themselves. And if you know that you're a hard worker, you're going to be able to go through the ups and downs. But keep on grinding, dude. Keep on grinding. I got your back. Sherlock, what's going on, Sherlock? Did Angela get in the duck race? Sherlock, that is a phenomenal question. I will see right now who is in our duck race. If you don't know, it's a $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. The names that I see in here right now are Jason Goots, Richard Engel, Justine Gonzalez. I'm refreshing my phone. Unfortunately, I have not been able to get it so I can see it. All right, I have it here. I got Jeremy Valve, you're in. Charles G, you in. Angela Sherlock, in. Joe Guy, in. Dan Fry, in. Richard Black has got Dose, Ducks, and then the Night Devil. $20 Venmo right now in for a shot to win $110. 20 to win, $110 here on the Raiders Report. Zahn, no drinks tonight, Big Raz. I'm on my way to work. You're on your way to work now? You're working night shifts on? Let me know.
Big Raz said he got you covered. He'll drink some in your honor.
I am not drinking tonight, I'll tell you that. I really truly only try to drink when I'm at work, Now, there's obviously certain situations that arise, and you got to do what you got to do. This weekend would have been on Saturday. Saturday?
Yeah.
Sunday. Maybe it was Saturday or Sunday. I actually don't remember if it was Saturday or Sunday. I think it was Sunday, truthfully. Yeah, Sunday. So one of Alex's friends, she had a birthday party at, honestly, a really nice spot in District Arts. Like, really sick spot. Alex and I go there for dinner all the time, and she did an open bar.
Oh.
Well, again, so that's like back-to-back weekends where Alex and I got pretty banged up. I'm not going to lie to you. And I give my wife a lot of credit. And I think her biggest issue is sometimes when we go out, she tries to keep up with me. And it's just one of those things. Like, I'm just a lot bigger than she is. So she was feeling really, really good on Sunday night. I'll just leave it like that. But dude, crazy weekend, man. Crazy, crazy weekend. No drinking for me today, though. No drinking for me tonight. No drinking for me tomorrow. I ain't drinking on Thursday. The next time I'm putting alcohol in my body will be Raiders Friday happy hour.
Yeah.
There's no way you guys can make me do it before then. There's no way.
What's that, Mitch? A $20 super chat and you'll shotgun a loco? That's
no,
crazy.
It's funny. Like, I say that now because it's Tuesday and I know that we still have a few days. Though, I usually get the itch again where I'm like, all right, it's almost the weekend again. When I get that weekend itch, that's kind of when I'm like, all right, you know what? Maybe we'll do it. maybe we'll get after it. Well, I feel like that's how everybody is, though.
Oh, yeah.
You have a 3-day weekend. I did, man. I didn't really do anything this weekend besides dog duty. If anything, I've learned I absolutely positively want another dog, though. I want another dog. I need another dog. We might even get a dog earlier than what we originally anticipated.
Ooh.
Yeah, Chuck needs a buddy.
Puppy in the studio?
If James gave me the okay, I would bring Chuck in here, though I'd have to pay for the vacuum fees. I already
He'd be shedding?
I don't think he sheds a lot. His hair drops everywhere, and James.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not going to be good. Not going to be good. So we got 2 games tonight. We got an NHL game, and we got an NBA game. Obviously, Thunder Spurs tied up at 2. Type NBA if you think that's the better game. Though, the Vegas Golden Knights, this is the Raiders Report. They play in Vegas. This game, though, the Knights are up 3-0 on the Avalanche, which I am unbelievably shocked by.
Yeah, I think the Avalanche had the best record in the NHL this season.
They had the most goals scored and the least goals given up.
Okay.
The Avalanche, though, they're missing this key defenseman, and it's just really ruining their strategy.
I saw one guy for the Avalanche's back tonight after he got hit by a puck got hit in the knee by a puck the other night. I don't know if it's the same guy, but
I think I've told this story before here on this show. When I was really, really young, I don't know if my dad's here, if he could back me up on this. We went to a Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins game. That's what it is. Wilkes-Barre Scranton. So I don't know if it's the AA, AAA.
It's like the minor league of the NHL?
Yes.
Okay.
And we went to a Wilkes-Barre Scranton game for the Penguins many, many years ago. I was a kid, really young. And this was before the nets were up around a hockey rink.
I thought they were always up.
No. If my dad's ever in the chat, y'all, she, I believe, ended up living. But we were sitting, really close to a woman, took a slap shot to the grill in the stands. Again, I don't remember it, very clearly. I just remember the chaos and aftermath that happened. If you looked it up, I would imagine it happened in the early 2000s. There's got to be a story on it. But she was one of the reasons why that they ended up putting, these nets around some games because she was, really, really critically injured. But I don't know if my dad's here. Dude, it was...
Did they stop the game? Or,
I don't remember. I feel bad for saying that. I was young. I don't know if I'm double digits old. I was very, very young. We went to a hockey game. Again, you take your kids to it's like a $6, probably $7 ticket.
Yeah.
But, dude, it was... I will never forget the pandemonium, but I don't remember if the game stopped or not. I mean, I would imagine it did. Again,
I don't know if it does, because like if someone gets
it really
like,
wasn't
hit by
all
a
that.
foul
Like,
ball,
I don't really remember it being all that crowded. Like, I don't remember it being all that crowded, but we were sitting behind the goalie.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wild, dude. It was freaking wild. So I hate to admit this. I probably am going to be typing NBA. I see Shabs typing NBA. I see Raider Nation's going to go NBA, though. Yoda Jenkins is saying the Vegas Golden Knights. I see Richard Black's typing NHL. Big Raz NHL. If the Vegas Golden Knights end up making I almost said World Series, the Stanley Cup Finals, I do plan on doing watch parties for those games. Again, I'd probably get another producer. I'd probably give you to like.
I am the least hockey knowledgeable person in this office.
Well, I was talking to the guys already. I'd probably get Gage for like the
That
games,
makes
and you'd probably like I don't know work with Joey or something like that.
That would make
but
sense.
Gage is a Canadian fan, so if I could get Canadians and Vegas Golden
What's the
Knights,
record or what's the score in that series?
I believe it's 2-1.
Which way?
2-1. Canadians are down to the
Hurricanes.
Hurricanes.
I know that.
I believe Hurricanes are up 2-1. But I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping it's a good series. Abs are going to come back. I don't think that's happening. I don't think that's happening.
Hey, wait, Bayou. Really random question. Because see, you just said we have a hockey team that's actually good in the North American Hockey League. Are you talking about the Baton Rouge Zydeco? Those brothers sucked. Because I worked some games for them when I was at LSU.
Who?
Exactly. The Baton Rouge Zydeco.
I mean, I can't imagine there's much.
It is horrible hockey.
I mean, hockey down south, hockey in New Orleans. I mean,
Yeah, it's in Baton Rouge.
oh yeah, Baton Rouge. I mean, like,
It's not good. Seats were empty. It was horrible.
I'll tell you this right now. I'll try to find the stats. When I was a freshman in college, so that would have been, what, 2012? Centenary College Hockey 2012 records. Yeah, I think I might have found it. When I tell you they were the worst hockey team I've ever seen, I don't think that this is right. Dude, there's no way this is right. Oh, wait, they're showing me lacrosse. All right, I'll try to... Is it this one? Dude, when I tell you the guys on our team were giving up... Yeah, they don't even have it on here. They lasted 1 year. Again, we're talking D3 hockey. Bro, they would lose they'd give up 40 goals in a game. We had a few of our baseball guys were teammates with the Centenary hockey team, and we would go and we'd have a good time. There was one game, the kid he was in my class. He had 84 shots saved in a game. But he also gave
It's
up.
a miracle he saved all of
He
those.
gave up 30 goals. I'll try to find it. They lasted 1 year. They won't let them. Then they won't. The NCAA would not allow them to be recognized as a hockey team.
We're like, okay, you are this bad.
Well, they had
You
one
cannot
line.
play.
They only had one line. So honestly, they would do decent for one period, and then second, third period they would just.
So one line. Let me, because I don't know the terminology. Just
So
one.
you know how
their
hockey
starters,
players come in and out.
Yeah. They have one lineup.
They had a goalie, and then they had their team, but they had 3 or 4 other they had 3 or 4, maybe 5 other guys on the team that could also come in, but it wasn't line change. It was player exchange, maybe one.
It's this guy's gas. Get in for him.
Bro, it was. I'll try to find the stats on it. It's
That's amazing.
I'll try to have the stats for you guys for Friday Happy Hour. All right, y'all. Final chance to get in the duck race. I've been ranting and raving here for long enough. 20 to get in. The last time that I checked, winner would go home with $110. The last thing that I saw in here is Bayou, I'm going to give you an extra one, and then the Night Devil also getting it in. 20 to win, $140 here on the show. We're going to go through the remainder of the Super Chats, and then we're going to do that duck race. I only try to drink at work is goated, Mitch. It is and it's not, see, Gabe. I had this conversation with some of the people at the birthday party the other day because I love my job. And when you meet new people, my job is always a job that's easily talked to. Like, a lot of the guys are always interested in it. And, don't get me wrong. I am never afraid to talk about what I do. I'm very passionate about what I do. But if there's one thing where I'm like, I'm a 33-year-old dude who I chug beers still on YouTube, and I'm like, at what point at my age, at what point am I like, all right, this guy's 48 years old, he's doing a beer bong, like, all right, is this what he should be doing? I don't know, but the older and older I get, I really do try to only drink while I'm at work, and like when I was younger, and everybody feels this way, like if I get banged up now, dude, it's hard to wake up the next morning and be able to do it all over again. So, like, there's just certain days that it's more challenging, but I'm serious about my job. So every Friday I get to have some drinks. And now if my wife wants to go out for, like, a date night, then you make exceptions for when you need to be able to make exceptions. But I don't know if it's goated, but I think it is and it isn't all at the same time. Hopefully I can say that one day. Shout out to the nation. Put your drinking pants on for Friday. See, Gabe, go. If there's one thing I've learned from doing this show, your drinking pants always got to be close by. And, I hope that people know when I do this program, I don't drink just to drink. I do it because I do genuinely love to have a good time. And if somebody could come up with another way for us to do a crazy Friday happy hour show, like if somebody was like, Mitch, instead of you doing beer bongs on Friday, drop down and give me 10 push-ups. I don't know, eat some spicy food or sing some song. Like, I don't know what it is. If you guys want to come up with some other shit, like, I'm down to get it going. I'm just here to have a good time, and I feel like drinking beers with my friends is a lot of the times have led to some of the best conversations I've had, which is Friday happy hour, man. Bayou, I drink because of work. I mean, being a Raider fan, man, I drink because of work too, so it's one of those things. Raider J420, believe me, I got it in the name. I just can't do that stuff down here in Texas, so.
I got it in the name.
I mean, his name is literally Raider J420. I got you. I mean, truthfully, if Texas, if Dallas ever makes it legal, like, and if YouTube didn't have any problems with it, I would think about it. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Again, I'm always down for a good time. Sherlock, spicy wing challenge. I'd be down to do a hot ones challenge. Like, if there was certain hot sauces that you guys wanted me to go get, I would do it. It's just the only other problem with hot sauce, and any time I've done a spicy challenge, it's my job is to talk. Sometimes it's tough to talk after you eat something spicy.
Yeah, it's not fun.
So we got some fun stuff on tap for this year, which I'm excited to be able to showcase for all of y'all.
Jello wrestling is finally coming, guys.
Jello wrestling. I mean, the other day somebody's like, I don't actually think that you guys have the Jello.
You would be very surprised what is in our kitchen.
Do you know where the Jello is?
I know where the set is. I don't know what's all in the set, but I have seen the box.
Okay. Yeah, that box is old. Yeah, I mean it's an old box. It's an old wooden ship. Late duck race entry. Yeah, I see a few.
I can get this last super chat up.
I saw Ricky Juarez. I gotcha. And then Jaime, I got you. Actually, Jaime. Yeah, we'll let it. Jaime, don't get mad at me. Your name I didn't spell 100% right, and it auto-corrected to Jasmine. Jasmine Portillo. Jaime, that's on me.
So it's Ricky and then the two Jaimes?
Yep. So now that means we are in 20 to win, 170 doll hairs here on the show. I mean, the spiciest wings I've ever had, truthfully, I did the Atomic Wing Challenge when I was a kid in high school. The Atomic Wing Challenge at Quaker Steak and Lube. I had to sign a waiver. You got a T-shirt, and you got a bumper sticker. So it was the bumper sticker at the time. Like, I would never put a bumper sticker on my car now, But at the time, I mean, I drove a beat-up car, so I was like, I want people to know that I'm a badass, and I ate these spicy wings. Like, it was all the bragging rights in the world, dude. They're hot, though. I mean, it was Atomic Wings. At the time, I think it was 1,000,000 Scoville units, so they were spicy. They were the wings where when you touch them, your fingers burn. I've seen people try to wipe the sweat away, which you don't want to do that because then you're in a lot of trouble. Night Devil, let me create the sauces. But see, then I don't know. You're scaring me, dude.
I don't know what kind of weird stuff you put in the sauces.
Well, so Night Devil, he's a restaurant manager.
Oh.
I went out to visit him in Tucson last year at I can't think of the restaurant. Shark. Oh my God, I can't think of the name.
Sharkies?
No. We literally went out to. I can literally picture the logo in Tucson. Night Devil. What was the restaurant? Shark. Oh my God, it's gonna drive me insane. I can't think of the restaurant name, but he sent us some like actual sauces that he made. They were unbelievable. Like the taste wise, they were really, really, really good. However, though, I also would get worried about spicy food because when you like if people like know how to cook and then they want to make spicy food for you, it's
they know the right science behind it.
That's what I'm saying.
Know what
like
to throw
that
in
scares me. That shit scares me. No, wild. All right, y'all. Final refresh. I don't see anybody else in. Desert Shark Tucson. Christ, I couldn't think of the name. So we went to Desert Shark Tucson last year, and the Night Devil. Dude, that was some of the best food I had. It was great food because imagine, like, do you like sushi?
Yes.
So they would do like sushi-ish bowls, but like the bowl that I had was coconut shrimp. Like it's just there was tons of rice. There was just there was onion in it. I mean, it had all these different sauces. It had like I want to say pineapple. It was 100 degrees, and it was a filling meal that was also refreshing. Is the only way that I can describe it.
That sounds amazing.
It was like a refreshing big meal. It was so good. It was dude. Chugs and I were crushing that sauce because I brought some sauce back home on my flight. Or no, he sent us some, and we were using it on like tacos and stuff. Always good. Always good. All right. Final chance. I don't see anybody else in. And then I say that. And, I think the Night Devil just got in again. Hang on. Let me just make sure. Yes, the Night Devil, you in. All right. So it is a $20 Venmo. Go home with $180 starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's get it going. I've been watching for like 2 years. First time. Oh, you got to comment more then, bro. Yeah, again, like this time of the year is when I really truly like get to know like people's names. Now, if you got a picture in there, which looks like you got a pic, have you done the Ghost Pepper Chip Challenge? I've done the One Chip Challenge, if that's what that is.
I think that's what he's talking about.
The One Chip Challenge is awful.
Y'all
but
did
I believe
it on
that's
here, huh?
I believe that's Carolina Reaper though. Looks like the Night Devil's got a little bit of a lead, followed by Richard Black. So watch out for Jaime Portillo. Though I thought I put it in as Jasmine. Maybe it autocorrected.
No, I copy and pasted it before you did that, so I just typed it in.
Oh, that a boy. Richard Black is running away with this one. Come on, Richard.
No.
Come on, Richard.
Richard Engel might catch him.
Who's this from the back? I think it's going to be Jaime. Is Portillo going to have enough? He does.
Those last two entrants.
Winner. Jaime Portillo with the dub. Bro, Jaime, there's not many people that I think have dimples like my wife does. Dude, Jaime's got some dimples on him. Jaime, if you could please confirm that you just received $180, that would be much, much appreciated. Jaime, could you please confirm that you just received $180 here on the Raiders Report? Congrats to Jaime. Sometimes if you're not first, you're last.
Who was last?
Jaime Jaime was the last person to get in the race. Actually, that's not true. The Night Devil was technically the last person to get in.
Angela Sherlock was last.
Angela Sherlock, you get the big prize. Congratulations. Congratulations. All right, y'all. I'm getting ready to hop on out of here tonight. Again, 2 really good games. Avalanche against the Knight. Thunder against the Spurs. If you plan on watching any of those games, go ahead and get a lineup in on Prize Picks. I will probably get another Prize Picks lineup in as soon as I get done with this show. So if anybody wants to see what that lineup is, make sure you give me a follow at MitchellRens365. And if you don't know, you can get $50 instantly in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Use code HMA. Had a fun show today. I want to say this special shout out to Bayou Raider for always getting this party started. Him and Mark Call. Appreciate you guys for getting the deal done. The Weldinator came in with a bang today, but also Isaac Hernandez, my guy Sherlock, they got the party started very, very early on the program. And because we did hit our deal today, I will be live tomorrow on the Raiders Report for a Raiders-Chiefs stream. I'll probably do it a little bit later on in the day. I don't know exactly what time it's going to be, but I'll probably do it, I don't know, like 3 o'clock my time, somewhere around there. So just keep that in mind, but I will be live, let's say 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, Raiders-Chiefs, Madden. And then I'll be live again on Thursday, and then I'll be live again on Friday. So because we hit our deal today, I will be live every single day here on the Raiders Report. Enjoy the games from me, from Lopez, the entire Chat Sports team here. I'll see you guys tomorrow, Raiders-Chiefs, here on the Raiders Report.